Hello, 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 hello. It is me. It is I. It is your internet friend, Chloroken. That's right. It is getting slightly warmer outside, which is fantastic because with warmth comes growth. I like the cold, but there's a time and a place for such things, and now it's not it. It's not it. How y'all doing today? Shout out to YouTube. How you guys doing over there? It says there's already a couple people watching me on YouTube. It says there's 11 YouTube viewers and 15 Twitch viewers right now. Could there ever be a day where there's more YouTube viewers than Twitch? That's impossible. Of course not. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Now there's 13. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Twitch better watch out. All right, now Twitch has 20. All right, never mind. Twitch is ahead again. What's going on, Tiny? How you doing? What's poppin'? Hope you're well. My lovely, lovely Twitch chatters, OG Parody in the house. What's up, Para? How you doing? P9 is here. P9 has watched every single stream I've ever cast before. It's impressive. Mr. Coffee is here. Pavel is here. Pels is here. What's up? Angenic Born Crusher. What up? Born Crusher says he's at work, but he's listening. Like a little creeper. Like a little creepy roly-poly-oly. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. I will accept such things. It is Friday, which, if I had to guess, would mean that there's a lot of people streaming right now. Yeah, Laura's streaming. Zloy is streaming. I don't know who Zloy is. Crash is streaming. Larry is streaming. Mr. Wombat is streaming. You got everybody to choose from today. Yet for some cursed reason, you're here on my stream. I don't understand why, what motivates you to be here, what insane, twisted chemical web you have weaved in your brain to result in actually wanting to be here. It's just not right. Something's wrong with my chat. And Jenny wants to know if I have water. I actually don't have water yet. Petson, what's up? Welcome. Here for the ghosties? Cool. What up, Dan? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we'll find any, but we'll see. We'll look for some. I used to do this back in the day where I'd go out to like Iridia and just look for ghost sites. But, we'll goof off. Your antenna called you? Yeah. It's like a transistor right now. Hybrid Net, what's going on? Scotty is here. Hello. Friday the 13th. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Any superstitious people here? Arc Swift is back. What's going on? Tech Priest Pie is here. What if you're on both? That's a good point. If you're on YouTube and on Twitch at the same time, I think it cancels it out and I get no viewers. Gary says, I'm here to fill out the Twitch numbers. My man. My man. What up, Gravy? What up, boyo? We're gonna pull our blobs back from UW9 to Tabitzer, excuse me, and potentially either try to attack some frat or compete with Parallax for like local dumbos that need to die on gates. Which is kind of cool. Exciting stuff, actually. I can probably kill a lot of people in Molten Heath. Death Clown, what's going on? He says, there we go, chat is working. What up? Vector Ondacer says, moved back to wormholes, missed them too much. Yeah, you don't, you know, wormholes are, even if you live in K-space, you still love wormholes, you know? APD install water. Shit. Why didn't I do that? Sorry, I don't want to actually install. There's probably a package called water that just bricks my computer. What happened to the water? don't worry about it. It's all Gucci. Nah, my shit's been fucked up. My house has been broken for like a week now. I am doing all right though. Oku Nunaka, what's going on? Mr. Observatory Infiltrator. Spooky says first and high. Hi, first. What's going on? What's poppin'? Planning to do my dailies, listen to your stream. A little chloro cast, a little daily action. Okay. I'll allow it. I saw on YouTube all Americans have a doomsday shelter in the basement full of stock for months. You know, it's funny in Florida. I don't live in Florida, but the state of Florida, they don't have basements. None of the houses have basements really, because like I guess the hurricanes come or like the rain comes and like just floods it every time. It's wild. Bromaz, what's up? What's going on? No basements, Louisiana too. That kind of makes sense. That makes sense. I'm 4 feet above sea level. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. It's actually the sea level, right? Not the rain. Not the hurricanes. It's the fact that like they're right above the water. I got you. Texas too? There's no basements in Texas? I never heard of that shit. Aren't they sub sea level? I'm not gonna lie, I don't know the height of the various states of the world off rip. I should, I admit, but I don't. Texas basements get filled with oil, maybe. That's a good one. Gets filled with ammunition and oil. Oh, goodness. Good to see y'all. How you doing? I am in decent spirits. Life's not so bad. Definitely enjoying some Eve here. I have been, what's the phrase? Doing some exploration at Tabby for a little bit now. I've showed this a few times. It's continuing to grow. It's almost 5 bill now, but this is a couple of low sec chips here. Some ISO. All these little shiny mod arenos here. Skill books too, actually, randomly. Some of these actually are worth like 15 million. I don't understand why. No basements in Arizona. Don't know why. There's no basements in Arizona. What the fuck? I'm starting to get confused why they're not making basements. Damn, what's under the bed? Well, so like, I don't know. You would assume that below sea level means the water table is above where you live. But that can't be true. The water table has to be below the surface. I studied soil science. So like it must bend, right? Can Tech 3 Cruiser be fitted as a roller? Technically anything can roll that has mass, but to do it efficiently, no, I don't think there's any way to do it. With that said, you might be able to overprop it, but the problem vector is that Tech 3 Cruisers default, their base mass is incredibly low, so to roll with it would be fruitless. You know? I'm like hearing random noises coming out from the house right now. I started my stream and I started to hear random noises. Hold on, let me go investigate this. I'm gonna go get the shotgun. It's probably a squirrel. Just kidding. Let me go see what's going on. My cat's probably like attacking something. Fascinating. There's nothing there. What's going on, CZ? How you doing? So yeah, why the fuck are there no basements in Arizona? That makes no sense to me. Good chunk of New Orleans are 10 feet below sea level. I mean, shit. If you were to ask me the lowest place in in the states, Louisiana's got to be it. Someone says use a Megathron. Well, yeah, I mean, naturally. I'm assuming this person knows how to roll. They're just like wondering if other ships are viable. But strategic cruisers are by design extremely non-voluminous. Or rather, non-heavy. Whatever you want to call it. Handblades says, just started playing EVE again after a prolonged break. Oh, yeah? Would you believe that you're not the only one? There's dozens of us. Yeah, it's good to take breaks from the game, come back. Whenever people take a really long break, I like to remind them a lot has changed, so it's better to just take your knowledge and kind of relearn from scratch. Should be able to get my first Tech 3 cruiser this weekend. I'm finally trained up. Oh yeah, speaking of that, I made all those strategic cruisers. I'm just gonna give them my corp and then I close the Blops group. What am I supposed to do about that? I'll figure something out. You can call me many things, but you can't call me not generous. I am. But sometimes I forget what we're doing. And sometimes I just steal the coupons. Tech Priest says, trying to find a person that wants to do a BD3 mod on a run is harder than I thought it would be. You're like, hey, Chloro, do you want to do it? I'm like, kind of, but no, I gotta pass. I'm playing like Divinity with my girlfriend right now. I'm playing a solo save. I'll probably not be playing these types of games with pubs, sadly. But I know you're not asking me directly. I'm just saying. Because you got to find the right people. Like, I would not want to do a run of like one of these games, D&D style games with like random annoying people. I like to take it a little seriously. My girlfriend doesn't quite she doesn't quite understand, in my opinion, like the appeal of like role playing as your character. Like, she understands like what it is, but she doesn't see the point of it, I think. So like when we play, it's kind of just like smashing and grabbing, you know. I want to play with her. I love playing with her, but the idea is like if I was playing with a random person that did that, I'd be like, well, you know, just whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, murder hoboing is not really my cup of tea, but it's kind of fun to do with your partner. I mean, come on. I see Blue Lou then. Yeah. This came from Super Caches. We might find some today. Ingenic, what's your strategic cruiser? What'd you get into? Handblaze, what do you like to do in Eve? What's going on, Yvonne? How you doing? What's poppin', slime boy? Yvonne probably has no idea what the hell I'm saying when I say that. He's probably like, dude, what? What is popping slime boy? What does that mean? He's like on Urban Dictionary. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these Americans? Don't worry about it, man. Lil Wayne raised me. Can I say? You got a Tengu? I mean, I'll allow it. It might be the least sexy option. Might suck at PvP, but you know, you do nail the ratting. Yeah. Seeing a lot of bitter vets moving to high low sec and just chilling. Yeah. There's so many people in this game. I fall prey to this all the time too, but like what you see and what you hear is not really indicative of what's going on all throughout the game. Nullsec is as popular as ever. How'd you find the stream Handblades? You just clicking through Eve stuff and found me, or you see my videos? By the way, today what we're going to do is we're going to use this Astero to just scan random low sec systems, and if we find a ghost site or sleeper cache, if we find one, we'll do it. If we don't, we just will look in perpetuity. I used to do this all the time. It was called haystacking. Does anybody remember haystacking? I used to do needle hacking, which was using needle jacks over and over again and just hacking anything near me, and then haystacking, which was looking specifically for ghost sites in low sec. I used to specifically farm these when they was like 300 mil each. I'd like to think that I made some chatters pretty wealthy too by pointing out how easy these were to farm. You never know. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the advice I give isn't really necessarily about ISK making. It's just about either enjoying the game or like understanding some mechanics. So I don't know. I don't think anybody watches my shit and they're like, oh yeah, I'm a gazillionaire now. I don't think that's ever happened. But truthfully, becoming a gazillionaire or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, like point-wise, number-wise, ISK-wise, like, you know, it's probably not as fun as a Nomad Tale or like another adventure. What up, Batavium? How you doing? Dank Grisavi. I like this Dank Gravy guy. I think this weekend I'm gonna do a little meeting on the corp. Get everybody moved out of UW9 that wants to move back to Tabby. Slim down some stuff, and maybe we can set up that Wanderer talk about it. It'll be fun. Pavel says, I just looked over and saw your cursor size. Yeah, she's a fatty. Yeah. I like my cursors thick. But we can make it bigger too. We can get the cursor even more engorged here if we want. We just gotta shake it real good. This is definitely not a PG-13 stream anymore. This is some hardcore cursor porn here. Parody, no, it's not even big enough. All right, fine. Chat commands it. I'll stop. Parody is jumping the gun here. That's a little premature cursor denial right there. All right. I mean, it is his right. I shouldn't complain. It is the council of the cursor. I do have that issue. That's all right. Hey, man, it's better to do it prematurely than not at all. You feel me? You feel me? Come on now. Have some pride in yourself. All right. So we're gonna go out through one of the random tablature exits and just like randomly look around. We'll use the 2D map. We'll do it out in the open because the way that the Astera works in Lowsec is like you kind of gotta sort of make a mistake to get caught. And even if I do, this is like not Zugmud or anything. I don't give a shit. There's no virtues. You could kill me 5 times in this thing and I won't even blink. So we're gonna be a little bit less paranoid than we maybe used to be doing this. Now that I've kind of saturated myself in loss. By the way, I just want to make something, put something on record here. So if we go to Zkill, Jack the Needle, look at the amount of ships that I've lost. By the way, how old is Jack the Needle? Jack the Needle was born on August 10th, 2023. So we'll say about 2.5 years old is this character, right? This motherfucker has lost 1,463 ships. In 2.5 years. Right? That's like 2 a day every day, baby. It's like I'm training for fucking football. This boy knows how to feed, man. How many of them are thorax? Dude, all of them. At least 1,000 of them. By the way, if you missed it last stream, look at this fucking Loki we killed. Come on. Come on. We killed it with 3 Tech 1 thoraxes. $60 million on the board. Yeah, I should probably slide my 5 bill Loki in there real quick. I mean, I'm sure this guy's a very sweet guy. Somebody told me that this guy has lost 60 billion worth of Lokis on my Discord. We're going to find out right now. I usually don't like to go down the rabbit hole because it feels like I'm picking on him. But the truth is, I don't really care in this instance. Like, you overwhelmingly killed us. You just lost us because you were silly. Let's check out this guy's losses. All right. Has he ever lost a Loki? Okay, so he lost another 5 bill Loki 5 days ago. He lost probably over 6 bill Loki 12 days ago. He lost another 2 3 bill Lokis last month, and then he lost a 4.2 billion, 3.7 billion, 4.1 billion, 5.1 billion, 4.3 billion, 3.1 billion, 3.9 billion, 2 billion, 3.9 billion, 2.8 billion Loki. He's lost all of those since last October. It's been 4 months. Or sorry, 6 months. Math. Holy shit, dude. Yo, this is my fucking hero. How do you lose so many bling Lokis? Oh, they're all ESS? No, these are like Star. He's 1,000,000 kilometers off of a Stargate here. Oh, he's 1,000. Bro, I don't know what's going on. This looks like it's on a Citadel. Anyway, I'm actually like regretting looking at that. That's. You think you suck? Oh. That statistic proves Loki's a bad ship. Never fly or train for it. True. Oh. Yeah, those all have like abyssals on them too, dude. So like double those prices. Yvonne says tonight's the last night before I go back home and I was sitting up where I was gonna sleep. Missed the whole convo where you did. Probably don't know what you're talking. You're good. I have no idea. You're good. Someone says Vexer, baby. Yeah, Vexer slaps. Makes me feel a lot better about my Orca. See, the thing about you is like, I'm assuming you're not going to have like a ton of Orca. Maybe one day you'll lose one more, but you're not going to like have a track record of Orca losses, right? Just like me, I don't have like a track record of losing Lokis to ghost sites. Did it once, it got out of my system and moved on. This man's he's addicted to feeding bling Lokis. We're not talking about like your average 1 bill Loki with some bling in the mids. We're talking about a guy that fully blings his Lokis and just slams them into the enemy's face. It's honestly respectable. The craziest thing is like the Loki is like so good in so many ways. Granted, you can run 100 of men, kind of. I think some of his losses were 100, but like the idea of just slamming the Loki into the ESS and dying over and over again is weird. You think at some point you would like switch to like a hack or something that can live a little bit longer? The Loki is like so good because it can like kite and keep people at range. ESS, like you just land at 0 and die. I don't know. I suck at this game, but like that boy is single-handedly keeping this motherfucking game alive. Yeah, he's just literally he's compelled. He's addicted to losing fucking bling. I mean, come on. Come on. What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh yeah, casual 2 bill curse. This is even worse. This is even worse. My man only knows how to bling. What? A 1.5 bill broadsword and a 2 bill pod together died in an abyssal area? Wait, do people bring broadswords in abyssal areas? Wait. Is that normal? Bro's a whale. Bro is definitely bailing, dude. Whatever the fuck he is skimming krill. Bro, how the fuck, all the damage mods too on this. I don't understand this. Somebody who does Abyss, explain to me why there's a broadsword in an abyssal. That can't make sense, right? Is it like really tanky for its size or something? Is that the reason? Somebody here has to know. Because this is fucking me up. I'm gonna post this on my Discord. I need to understand this. Vagabond would be better. Yeah, but broadsword is like, this is a hick. I know they're extremely tanky, I get that, but there's no way this is good for abyssal, right? I'm gonna ask him my Discord, but yeah, holy fuck. I feel like he's just using a ship he shouldn't be using at like 1,000 times the normal price and still finding a way to lose it. Honestly, I love him. The quality of the stream is bad for me. You can tell the in-game name of this legend. I don't wanna post it or call him out, man. I'm sorry. You can look at my Z-kill though. You'll see a Loki there. I just feel like I don't want to like actually like spread his name or something. I'm okay to look at it, but it just feels like it's crossing a line if I like post a link to it for everybody to like ogle. Sorry. Deep down, this could be a person with like a learning disability. This could be somebody with like an actual compulsion. We'll never know. I'm just treating them as if they're a normal person that's just like making bad decisions. But the truth is I don't wish them bad at all. So I don't want them to actually feel stressed from this. Anywho. Let's take a look at our tabby map, yeah. I made this earlier today. It's not so bad. Let me see. So I think I have to go through NVM. I think that's where it is, right? Wow, that's funny. The acne. The Yankee. Abyss Tracker says yes. Oh, really? Maybe you got inheritance and is just burning cash? I mean, he's got kills in there, too. He's probably having a good time. He just doesn't understand that he could still be doing this with a Loki that's 1/10 the price. That's his problem. I know people who have disabilities who play Even Dude. Yeah, exactly. And that's what sometimes my brain goes there. Like, okay, this could be somebody who just, for whatever reason, is incapable of making the right decision, fine. But I think more often than not, what you find are people that you know, just put a lot of money into the game that don't really care, which is cool too, right? Shit, it's supporting the game. I'm not actually sure I want to come out here. Maybe I'll come out another way. I'm not a person with disability. I do the same thing as well. Yeah, no doubt. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, it's probably just a person who can help themselves who's being silly with it, if I had to guess. Kind of fun to pop into Iridia and see what the locals are up to. We can, excuse me, head down the way. Let's do like a little route here. It doesn't really matter where we end up, by the way. It's kind of funny how this works because one of the redeeming quality of the tablets here is that you can use Kreis of Vrog filaments. And then you fly to Skarken. Check this out. I'm going to show you, actually. Fuck it. I'll just show you. So if you use a Kreis or Vrog filament, you're going to end up, you know, somewhere. I'll show you on the 2D map first. You're going to end up somewhere here in one of these 4 systems, yeah? Or 6 systems, excuse me. You're going to end up in one of these 6 systems, or whatever the fuck it is, 4. You're inevitably close to Skarken. You're 1, 2, 3, 4 jumps max from Skarken. And if you get to Skarken, if you get here, and then you use the proximity, it literally puts you like on top of Tabitzer. Tabitzer is right here. So then you're able to just either gate or Chino jump to Tabitzer. So it's kind of silly, but it like forces you out right next to it if you reg it properly. This is not like a crazy, what's the phrase? Tack. This is nothing like revolutionary, but Tabitzer is in a position to where if you get to Skarken, there's no other place for it to kick you out but right there. It's kind of cool. You see how there's only these locations right next to it? It's light year based. Worst case scenario, you get yanked out here. And it's just bang, 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 bang. If you do the Nani drops you near Jitta to it, well, sure, there's a bunch of them near Jitta. The thing about the Pokémon extractions is it's not uberly precise. It's within like a light year and a half or like 2 light years or whatever it is. But, you know, if there's not that many systems there, it becomes awfully precise, right? What's up, Steve? How you doing? So remember, poor Jack here doesn't have perfect scanning skills. We're not really using, I think, maybe like baby implants or something. So we're just going to take our time and kind of scan casually. There will be a lot of Aegis sites that pop up that kind of block us. It's kind of funny. I lose ships in the most insane ways, do you? Like what? Give me one example. Let me get that kill mail, son. So right here is another, this is a potential candidate for a ghost site. But oftentimes these are the Aegis sites instead, depending where we are. I'm doing well, thank you, Steve. So there's the Aegis, right? So we still have to scan them down because it could be a ghost site. They have the fixed strength. Oops. Coast cans. You're a coast can. Squid whiskers. Tetra, what's going on, partner? Almost all the data sites in low site are potential ghost sites. There are a lot of 3s. It's true. But that's why we called it haystacking, because it's like finding a needle in a haystack. But this pretty much, on my own when I do this, I would pretty much be doing a combat exploration sites too, like 6 out of 10 deads and stuff that I find. But we're not going to do that in stream. It's too exploitable. I'm thrilled every time and disappointed all the same. Especially when you've been scanning for like a couple hours and you got nothing. And like you keep seeing these Aegises pop up. You're like, all right, bro. Time to end it all. So just do a little scanning. We're not going to bookmark this. We're not going to put it in registries. We're just going to casually scan as if we were just playing the game back in 2005. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Making a pasta in an already owned wormhole and losing all my ships and structures. Well, that is pretty stupid, true. But you know what? I don't blame you. It's a pretty ballsy move, I gotta admit. Nice scan there, bro. Brilliant. Brilliant scan. Beautiful. All right, we can skip all this. Level 2 combat site there. Potentially deep flow rift or whatever the fuck they are, but we'll skip it. So we'll pretty much go all the way to Iridia, and we'll look around a couple constellations out there. Sometimes the locals will follow you around, sometimes they won't. But they shuffle around the exploration slots a lot in Iridia. And on the way back, we'll show you how the Pochven hauling works and go to Skarkon and Proximity out and kind of show you how short it is on average. Kind of cool. In the meantime, we'll talk about Eve and how bad PvP Fest is. By the way, a Nomad Tail got a shout out during the live to feed stream. I don't know if anybody saw that. Shout out to Swift and them. They pinned the link. That's cool. I'm glad that they still enjoy it. It made me like think of how often I criticize the development on the stream. I'm like, shit, I guess they are watching. It's well deserved and a solid work. Thanks, Dan. They've given me enough shout outs, I think, over the time. I guess it's just kind of cool to see that they still enjoy it. Some of those people. Makes you feel good, I suppose, but you don't want to like base your self-worth off of feedback or recognition of the developers. That would be bad, right? Well, that would be real bad. Also doesn't really do anything for you past the feel good, but what's interesting is like, you know, I always have criticisms in Ant as well. Like I talk about in Ant how the gas changes are pretty insane, but you know, they're a little bit one-dimensional in the sense that they're not going to really escalate anything mechanics-wise. Oops, I think I missed this guy over here. Let me just reset this one. What's up, Norik? He says you left your probes in Halloon, I think. You think? How long ago did you play, bro? You must have played a while ago, right? Leopard? You still play. Now, the reason I say that is because you can leave the system and the probes automatically come back to you now. Watch. Like, I have them out here and they're going to automatically pull. I was just saying you probably haven't played since they didn't pull automatically. Yeah. I'm like, wow, I haven't heard somebody say that in a minute. It's easy mode now. Watch, they'll just automatically pull. Ready? Yeah, it's possible to lose them, and I've lost 2 sets of anime probes already, P9, on my mains, because I just sometimes close the client. Yeah, watching people play EVE live is actually a fantastic way to pick up techniques, methodologies, things you wouldn't know. It's also, when you're the one playing it, you pick up a lot too from the chatters. You're welcome. Managed to leave 4 in a system a bit ago. I've lost 16 Satori Horigu probes because I'll disconnect. Like, I'll just close the clients when they're out before pulling them back. And I just never go back and get them. What's going on, Inverse? I ain't your boss. But how you doing? Is this the only way to lose probes? Yeah, if they expire, they come back to you now. But if you disconnect and you don't come back when they expire, I think they're gone. I think that's the only way to lose them. I mean, downtime also counts as disconnecting, but you should be able to come back after downtime and still reconnect. I've never tested that. You lose your ship? Well, okay. Katse got me there. What's up, Katse? What's up, Knoxville? Wonder how many tons of sister probes? Well, they do expire after an hour, right? Drones take forever to despawn. That's why you can actually like farm them if you want. A lot of people out here in the West. I'm not even sure how safe these systems will be to do sites in. Rogue probes, new NPC faction incoming. Rogue probes. They'll be immediately subjugated and conquered by the rogue drones. Garbanzo, what's going on? It happened to me. I lost 7 out of 8. I don't know how. Probably a glitch or bug. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely bugs. Usually when I talk about mechanics, I'm talking about like working as intended kind of deal. You feel me? Wanna Cyber followed the stream. Not really, actually. Not really, but I appreciate the ask. I think that's very brave of you to just ask like that. But I'm gonna have to pass. We can be friends though. Someone says ASL. So I don't know. I don't want to actually cyber. So no ASL. What's up, Blackheart? Still working, so listening to the smooth voice get me through the rest of the day. Well, link us to the smooth voice. Link us the stream you're watching. Whoever has this smooth voice you're talking about. Let us know who it is. Don't hoard it, bro. You're hoarding the Dolcet. Anybody here hear me talk about my keybinds before? And how insane they are? I use the numpad to activate and to reduce the size of my scanner. Suicidal for Life says, I think he means you. No, I don't think so. That would be crazy. Definitely not. Definitely not. Here's the 2. We can skip that. Yeah. This one's going to be here. So if you've never looked specifically for a ghost site or a sleeper cache before, it's actually not a guaranteed thing. You know, I'd say on average, you might get one every hour if you go around at a normal speed in low sec, but it depends where you look, when you look. Sometimes you get a couple in an hour, sometimes you'll get none at all over multiple hours. The truth is, you gotta like scanning to do it like this. Otherwise, you should just do normal routes and do normal scanning like you would around your area. I just like roaming and scanning, personally. Numpad to reduce how? So I use the minus key on my numpad to reduce the size, the plus to increase the size, and the asterisk to fire the scan. And I do it with my left hand. How insane is that? Like, how actually insane is that? Like, that's like psych ward my ass immediately because I you know, there's probably some type of imbalance going on in my brain I just need help with. I've had it like that for like decades. I swear to God. Like right now, my hand is like over here on the numpad, my left hand. So my mouse hand and my left hand, they're like next to each other when I do this. It's insane. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. Like the default keybinds are more efficient than this. Crossing your left hand over the keyboard is insane. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I have no idea why it's actually like that at all. I have no idea when I got used to it, why I got used to it. Need 100% keyboard, the number on the left. I could just change the keybinds literally back to the normal Alt Scroll and B or whatever. At this point, I'm committed to the bit. I'm not changing anytime soon. Oh, man. Keeping that Schweppervescence street ghetto essence inside us, you know? Struggling to bind mouse click keybinds. You know if you can. Mouse click keybinds. What you mean? You talking about rebinding your mouse to keyboard things on Windows? You can use AutoHotkey for that. You use comma and period. Oh shit, those are the YouTube keybinds. You know, a couple streams back, I asked you how frequently one comes across a superior ghost site. The first time I got out looking for one, I found 2 of them. No shit. Yeah, once a month is probably, you know, what you could expect for normies. What'd you get from them? Cat parts? I'm assuming if you got the bazillion-isk blueprint, you would have told me immediately. Nobody in here would be kind of cool to find some place here. High grade Senshi Gamma, cool. I don't think that one's worth too much, sadly. But usually like the parts they drop are nuts. 4U scan picked up so little of that. Probably a 3 or above here. Binding wheel click, need to do it every time Eve's settings menu. Ooh, yeah, this is definitely something here. Maybe it's a level 4 data site and it's just normie one, but we got something from binding wheel click, need to do it every outside Eve's setting menu. Yeah, so I mean, oh, it's a gas site, fucker. So what you need to do is either use your mouse's software, or if you're on Windows, use something like AutoHotkey. It's auto, you should just have to look up what AutoHotkey is. It's basically like a scripting language, but you can use it to easily change keys one-to-one. So I would just rebind your mouse click to whatever you want it to be, and then fire up that script before you enter Eve, right? All right, almost cleared this. You're welcome. Yeah, AutoHotkey is the gold standard. Just understand AutoHotkey you could use to try to cheat by automating things, which is not allowed, but you are allowed to use it to rebind things. So just understand you're not allowed to like set it to auto click for you, but you are allowed to like rebind backspace to spacebar or something if you want. I find ghost sides often because I rush and use a micro overdrive, go out range and die. Oh no. Oh no. I can just imagine. Wee! Just fucking exploding. Poor Yvonne. Pretty deep in Iridia here. Losis and Ayash Lupin lives out here. I covered them a lot in Nomad Tale 14, but these are some pretty aggressive folk as far as Losite goes, you know. You have obviously your big groups snuffed out, Deepwater, hooligans, and whatnot doing stuff, but in terms of like dudes on the ground, Losix and I are extremely active. I kind of look up to them a little bit. I think they're pretty good at defending Iridia. They definitely make me work for it usually. The best part is that you never learn. That sounds like a terrible part. Maybe comedically it's nice. So obviously I don't really give a shiny shite about relics in low. Not really interesting to me. But if you're doing this and you're new, you can use the relic sites to kind of get a little bit of money as you look for something. I like the combat sites personally. I think they're quite fun and dynamic, but they're a little bit more advanced than just scan and hack. You got to get a ship there safely. You got to get in there and clear it all, and you got to get the loot back. So a little bit of a task. I'd say we probably have scanned, I don't know, 30 SIG so far. Not crazy. I think probably the longest I've ever gone doing this was like 3 hours without finding anything of note. But you know, I still had a good time. One more SIG over here, miss. What's kind of nice is when you scan with a character like this that has mediocre skills, when you go back to your virtue main, it feels like the weights have been lifted. So this is just great, what's the word? Just sharpening the sword, so to speak. As your father used to say, you're dumb and persistent. I'm sure you're not dumb. Ferney. So Ferney is one of the locations in Nomad 14 I actually anchored the Rookwall. Ferney. It's this little dead end here, huh? Oh no, it was Peru. No, it was Ferney, yeah. Peru's the dead end next to it. This is my favorite constellation. I think 2 constellations in Iridia. I don't know if it's 1 or 2. I can't remember. Super chill. A couple people live back there. Nothing insane. Look, I literally have a poly safe in here. Not sure where it is. Is that really a poly? Looks like a fucking line to me. Sheesh. Looks like a pretty poor Polly. Is this exploration? New player here and trying to learn as much as I can. Yeah, so I'm exploring in an Astero through Lowsec right now, looking for 2 sites specifically. Exploration is largely characterized by having to move around and use the probe scanner here to find what you're trying to do. So this is certainly exploration. This is a rather unorthodox method, what we're doing here. We're kind of just shooting for like rare sites, which we may not find, but it's kind of the thrill of the hunt for me. Normally you would go out for like reliable loot and not really just go hunting, but because I'm a streamer or whatever, I am allowed to do things less efficiently as long as they're fun. Kind of is the goal. Or the jest even. Good to see you, Skinnerbeard. How new are you to Eve? How fresh blood are we talking here? Have you been scammed yet? We're specifically looking for data sites of class 3, 4, or 5. If we see a data site class 4 or 5, we know it's a cache, right? Well, we don't know it's a cache on 4. It could be a normal data site. If we see a 5, we know it's a cache. If we see a 4, it could be a cache. We'll feel it right away if it's a cache based on the strength. If it's just not that hard to scan, it's going to be a normal data site. And then 3s could be ghost sites. So we're looking for 3s, 4s, and 5s. The higher we go, the more likely it is for it to be one that we actually want. So 5 guaranteed, 4 good chance, 3 small chance of actually being right. If you haven't been scammed yet, do you want to be? That's funny. We can help you with that. Nah, we can't scam the new guy. That's crazy, bro. Alright, maybe as a treat. Maybe as a treat we can scam him. I've done the career missions, read the Empire of Eve book, read the Empire of Eve books and wanted to try out. Cool. Yeah, it's certainly an interesting game. I welcome you. There are myriad activities to do in this game. Many of them being awfully lowbrow, but somehow satisfying in their own way. Not sure if that really tracks. For example, right now this is a pretty bizarre task, but because I've done so much exploration, you know, and I have like enough ISK to not have to go get more, I guess is the idea. It kind of just becomes like a little treasure hunt to me, which is quite fun. And really, you kind of generally only get this type of like feeling that I'm experiencing right now in like sandbox style games. So kind of cool. Obviously cool if we get something, but I'm not gonna get impatient until I've been doing this for like an hour and a half. Leopard likes follow the stream. Shit. Okay, not in here. And if we don't see anything in this constellation at all, I'll probably actually just go to another constellation here. Look there too. Like I said, there's nothing Los Shania can actually do to stop me here. It's funny. Shit, I just burned away from the dead end. I'm gonna burn back manually. They can't actually stop me, but what they can do is follow me and then attack me when I do the sites, which will be annoying. So if they notice the Astero on our board, they'll probably send like a buzzer or something after it to scare me off, if I had to guess. But it is getting late. Lissus and I generally play from like Russian time zone, so it's getting late, so I'm assuming that they're not going to give us too hard of a time. You never know. Motherfuckers be staying up. You know how gamers are. Gamers be staying up all night sometimes. Not me though, I would never. As I drink an energy drink. Chain to Jitta and Tabitzer. That's so funny that you say that. I have the map open right here, and you're right. Para is 2 jumps from Jitta, except the wormhole itself is crit and end of life, so you don't got much time left. AC 800, are you a Tabby player? Are you in my corp? What the hell do you know about Tabitzer? By the way, ChloroKitties is recruiting. We would love to have you. We're going to Blops out of Tabitzer and kind of tie it all together now. So I think we're finally finding our identity. We obviously have a Blops theme, but it's going to be also about exploration and mapping and everything I like to do. Please join us. As long as you're not a shithead. If you're a shithead, don't join us. Please. Uh, Yvonne, you're Craw, right? On Discord. What's up, Ricky? Let's see if we get lucky in here. Oh, 2, okay. Oh, so she had it before I spent 77 years? No coffee grind for us? Nah, I got energy drinks right now, bro. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm trying to be healthier, you know, so I figured I'd put down the coffee and pick up a little energy drink, you know? I'm becoming a bit of a health nut. Your cry, yeah. So you wanted me to maybe go back and slow down, and you know, I've reacted to a Nomad Tale a couple of times. It's kind of more what you're looking for. I'll watch the series again at some point. You'll be here for it, I'm sure. I would have joined you, but I'm a shithead. Damn. So close. We almost had another one. We were so close to another one. I should probably have Jack run a private map. Oh my god! It's her! What the fuck? I know who this is. This is a person who lives here, who was in a Nomad Tale 14. What the fuck? I killed this person in that video. Twice. She was literally in this system, or like in this constellation too. Fascinating. She's in a magnate. Alright. Okie dokie. Small freaking world. I recognize the name. It's Cassiopeia. It's kind of a, you know, memorable name. Wild. Speaking of the devil. Now, this person was just like a random innocent local bystander. And I just like, they kept taking my gas. And I was like, you trying to split it? And then like, she would leave whenever I like, tried to split it. And at one point I was like, all right, well, if you don't want to talk to me, I guess I'll just have to shoot you. And I shot her. It's kind of fucked up. Let's keep scanning. I feel like I haven't done nearly enough signatures yet to complain, so I'm going to do like another 30 before I start like nipping at the heels of being a whiner. To be fair, Eve is kind of fucked up. Yeah, a little bit. Hey, I post my L's too, so I'm allowed to post W's. I'm allowed to be, you know, occasionally the bad guy. I still want to know who AC is on YouTube. Is this Arcs? Is that Arcs? Oh, is that Arc? Maybe? Nah, it can't be. How the fuck are they in Tabby? That's crazy. Wait, Blitz is here. He says, don't take my gas. Oh, I'm taking all the gas. I'm taking everything. When you say you stopped drinking coffee? Well, I didn't stop. I just, today. Amazing. He's scanning out of Tabby? I mean, I'm down the way from one of the exits, yeah. Damn, I got ageist. I was hoping. I think I left through, maybe the domain exit. Didn't get the notification you started stream. Why not? What'd you do wrong? Did you block me? Switching, you're good. No, I literally just grabbed some energy drinks when I was out getting food because I'm a clown. I drink way too much coffee, to be honest. So the system next door to me is one of my favorite systems in all of Eve. Ballas. Anybody know what Ballas is? And why it's my favorite? My neighbor is screaming. Something GTA related? I'll show you next system. It's more of a showing thing. Sometimes I get freaked out when I wear like the noise canceling headphones. I'm like, what if someone's like screaming for help somewhere down the road and I can't hear them? There it is. You can't wear both ears. Ooh, the level 3 SIG there. Combat. You guys been scanning for a while? Or is you scanning like on autopilot now? Because I haven't even thought about scanning once yet since I left. It's like when you drive a car, you don't even think about it anymore. I can tell how slow this is, but that's because, you know, I'm just chilling and the scanning skills aren't great. But you know what? Who knows? I want a blue chip. I'll find a blue chip. Life is simple. If I find a sleeper cache, I'll do it. Any sleeper cache. I don't give a fuck. Bring it on. Give me the content. And if I can't find it, well, you know, bummer. All right, so we're in now one of my favorite systems in the game, and here's why. You have to look at your map. You have to look at your screen. That's why. There's only one celestial pack in this. Only one. So every signature spawns super close to this. There's a J-Space system like this too, because they, I think, mirror K-Space. So you can basically undock or come out of a gate, snap the probes to your location, put them on 4 and scan, and you'll have every signature resolved. One planet. Life is good. Ballas, shout out. I'm thinking we're going to get lucky when we go in the back pocket here. That's my guess. Where the hell am I? Oh, we're here. Okay. Let's go back real quick. I used to bring all types of fits for these things nowadays, but I pretty much realized you only need a medium shield extender and guessed X-type explosive, and you can do every sight in the game. This is the only swap you really actually need. It's kind of crazy. I used to bring like regens and shit. You do archive room in Estero? You live? Yeah, no, I don't do archive room. I don't do archive room mines when I do soups. It's just a waste of time, honestly. Lyro says chill music. Hell yeah. You can if you like. I've done like 50 archives, right? It's not like I've never done it. I just don't like it. It's just too much. Like the whole site's uber chill, and then archives just like if you're trying to get all 11 boxes. The only real way to do it in a Estero would be to go grab a few boxes and use the one vessel that isn't broken during like the first earthquake, I guess, and then get a few more boxes and leave. I guess that's what you could do. Never actually thought about it really. What's up, Alan? Hmm. Voist this. Fuck you, Aegis. All right, now I'm starting to get trolled by the Aegis. So I thought that was a ghost site. I was like, please. What's up, mean alien? How you doing? How you doing? Wormhole. Let's do this one. Marco. What's up, Rizio? Rizadora. You trying to get me to say polo? I won't say it. I'm not for sale. You can't Marco my polo. I'm not in a wormhole right now. Rizio is confused. She doesn't understand what to do. What character do I log on? What am I supposed to do? This is bullshit. You said polo, true. You're right, I did. I fucked up. Hope you all having a good weekend coming up for those that are working. Monday to Friday. Doing the damn thing. Weekend coming up so you can go to the club. Sip a little Cristal, right? Pop a little Hennessy, right? I know what you guys are into. Smoke a fat doob. You know, lighten your doobs with $100 bills and shit. I know what you guys are into. Sapnin, says Mahoninator. Nothing, I'm looking for ghosts and caches. Put the ghost in the bag and nobody gets hurt. What up, IAF? Is we going to be party nonstop for many around here? Possibly till Wednesday? Oh, yeah? What's going on? Valentine's Day? Isn't that coming up? Everybody here has Valentine's dates? My girlfriend's in Florida, so I guess I don't have a Valentine's date. I can go get a Fado, though, from the hangar. Carnival, nice. I might let you try it off the Hennessy. Yes. Pels is feeling himself. Monday off? Legendary. Legendary. You won poker last week and bought the wife a gift with the winnings? Alright. That's an interesting sentence. I like that. I like that. I like when people are good to their partners. I think that's a good quality in someone. Whenever when someone's like, "Oh, I hate my wife" or whatever, it's like, really? All right. All right. If that's how you want to do it.
Sergeant _Blazy says banana.
Banana. Banana. Even the public transport in the city will be shut down for several hours on Monday because of the carnival. Woof. Shutting down my public transportation. Ain't no way. You ain't shutting down my buses and my high-speed rail. You ain't shutting it down. My clean, green energy buses. You ain't doing it. You ain't doing it. All right, we've probably scanned 50 signatures, maybe? I want to say. We're starting to get to the point where we can start complaining, but we got to go maybe another 10 more. Let's finish Iridia here, and then we'll go back to Tabby, go out another exit, and then we'll start complaining. The more you complain, the more sites you get. I just like to start off slow because, you know, who wants to hear a whining stream? Rob Booze Cruise, what up? I'm out with the wife tomorrow now. When our first few years not being able to do Valentine's Day due to long distance at the beginning. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. They're making up for lost time, chat, right? It's not enough to be together. They want to set the record right. They want to acknowledge how hard it's been. That's tough. I love that. Hell yeah. Celebrate. We got kids, mother-in-law coming over so wife and I can bounce out and have a date tonight. Clean. Clean. Nobody's having a good time. Kind of good vibe stream today. Nobody's saying crazy shit. I love it. Yvonne is drunk as fuck in my chat right now. All right, getting there. So maybe I'll just talk a little bit mechanically. You know, when you do like a blind route like this, where we're like covering like a fourth of the region, like you could very well not hit anything at all. It's kind of what's happening here. However, if you hit the same area day after day after day, it becomes like a fountain of content. You obviously saw me do this in my series if you watched it or whatever. But the idea is every day a lot of these sites persist and just stay there. And what ends up happening is you can just skip them and scan the entire region down extremely quickly. That's kind of how I was farming sleeper caches, was I was just hitting the same region over and over and over again in the same areas, like hyper vigilantly. And anytime one popped up, I could do it. It was at the point where I could almost see them pop up sometimes and then just go do them immediately. Fesher, ooh, a lot of SIGs in here, cool. Almost at the end of the line here, I can tell by the system name. Let's see if we get lucky. All vibes, no code. Yo, that one guy that came in here who was like, hey, I'm just chilling, vibing, coding. I'm like, you're vibing and doing some coding? You're not vibe coding? He's like, no, I'm vibe coding. I'm like, okay. Dude, that was so funny. You see my message about that? I had no idea, man. What's up? Wait, which message? Maybe not. Wildest part is when he said it was an Eve dev. Yeah, I could not understand that. Like, I'm not an Eve dev. But at least I know it. And I'm not trying to pretend I am. I didn't know vibe coding is AI coding and Eve Linux. Ah, okay. Well, Eve on Linux is different. We actually do allow vibe coding there as long as you just close it, personally. Like, I'd rather it not be there, but people are going to, so I'd rather it just be labeled and then we can work around it. You're allowed to do it there, even though I don't like it. But my other Discords, fuck no. Don't even bother. And the only reason for that is because, like, my goal is to be helpful, not to let my own thing get in the way of helping people. Leave the poor Eve dev alone. Yes. Oh, God. I'm solo rolling a C1 high stakes static and a MOA. It's so slow. 18 passes for the digital lottery. Whew. Holy smokes. 18 passes? Wait a second. Isn't it 12 per hour? So you've been rolling for an hour and a half on the same hole? Jezza, damn. Jezza's having a day. As an Eve, baby, how can you have a cosmic signet is worth it or not? So, yeah. Yeah, this is a great question. Like, he sees me skipping all this shit. So I kind of know, like, what the sites I want to do are, and they're very rare. So I know by looking at them, it's not a wormhole, it's not a gas site, it's not a combat site. Any of those just get skipped right away. I'm looking for data sites specifically, and rare ones at that. But if you're just going to be scanning normally, you'd go out with a purpose. Like if you want to scan to do some gas collecting, you would find the gas and go. If you're not looking to travel, you're usually going to skip the wormholes, right? Uh-oh, what's this? Hold on, what's this? Maybe this was just misplaced. This one felt strong. So the most succinct answer I can give you as an Eve baby, how do you know which signatures are to skip? Well, you don't. I guess you're going to have to learn them, huh? You're going to have to go out there and figure out what these things are and kind of, you know, see what a wormhole is, see what a combat site signature is and whatnot. The Eve University has, wiki has tons of stuff on cosmic signatures. Definitely worth a look on their page for some information. But the short answer is, you know what you want, so you know you're looking for. Apologies for the intro question. No, we love those. The newer, the more intro-y are, the better. Like, if you want something more specific here, you can rephrase it and I'll give you another answer. I'm like a fucking LLM prompt, you know? Or you're an LLM prompt and I'm the machine. If you're looking more for, like, you know, how am I trying to find good data sites, I can get you there too. It's quite actually complicated, all this stuff we're doing, kind of taking it for granted. There's a Tengu here, scanning as well, which is probably why there's nothing in this area, but we'll see if we can maybe race him. We're about to head back to Tabitzer, I think, in a second and try another angle. Dirty Gibson, follow the stream. No way. I'm about to follow your stream. You crazy chatter, you. All right. Well, so that's that. Oh, wait, one more. 62,000 max mass per pass, yeah. And it's a medium hole? I don't even know how to roll medium holes. Feels bad. Oh, Inverse basically admitted to vibe coding, but didn't know what vibe coding was. So admitted to a crime he did not commit. That is hilarious, dude. Yeah, I vibe code. Of course, I love coding. I obviously vibe when I code. Like, what are you talking about? Obviously, I vibe code. That is adorable. You should be happy that happened. What is vibe coding? Vibe coding, if you're serious, is a way to describe people that create code, or more aptly products or actual pieces of software, out of largely AI tool-based methodologies. And what happens is, the implication of somebody vibe coding is that they don't really know how it works. And that's kind of important, is kind of the whole takeaway. So we scanned a lot of systems just now, and we didn't hit anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 systems. Not bad. Not bad. All right. If it's gonna be like that, it's gonna be like that. I mean, shit. What am I gonna do? Let's see here. Where did I go out? Oh, I went out Anki, didn't I? All right. Well, I guess we're gonna have to kind of go through Solitude, maybe try to find something up there, and run back through Anki. Why not? I could go further in Iridia too, actually. Maybe I'll go further in Iridia. Fuck it. Let's go deeper into Iridia. 2D map is pretty dope for stream, I'll say that. All right, let's pop up here and we'll kind of take a tour around Western Iridia. I mean, I got time to kill. I'm not really doing anything right now, to be honest with you, other than chilling with y'all. So we might as well queue up a little bit of fun here. The odds of not finding one after this run would be pretty slim, but still possible. It could have spawned and moved, right? But it's okay. We'll do our best. I don't know what I'm doing ever, so just vibe living. Nah, you're doing great. You know, I feel like most people that think like me don't really care if you vibe code, but it just seems like there's like a layer of delusion that is inseparable from it that seems to kind of just be like attached to everything surrounding it. Like, I feel like if someone's just like, yeah, I like to fuck around with these tools and make stupid things, like, what am I going to say to that? That's fine. But it's always like, I'm a developer, or like, this is a real product, or like, this is not, there's no issues with this. It's like, dude, like, you ran the unit tests. Like, you made unit tests with AI too. Like, it literally lied about everything. It's like, yeah, this component works, this component works, this component works. It's like, everything works. Okay. I'm not sure. It's like, it's a combination of things that make it so annoying for me. And it's weird because you've heard me ramble about this. Like, the whole art stealing thing doesn't really bother me as much as like people vibe coding and trying to act like it's on parity or better than humans coding. Because the art thefts thing is like, I don't even care about intellectual property in the first place. So like, it's like, okay, well, that's a shitty AI thing. I still want the real painting. So for me, it's like, you know, not that crazy. I'm not saying I like it. I'm just saying it doesn't really affect, I don't, it doesn't really like raise my hackles like the fucking vibe code crowd does. Hey, I made it about AI today for no reason. Damn it. Damn it. Ah, for no reason. If it's AI powered, is it really coding? I would say so. Vibe coding needs to find its place in software development, somewhere between prototyping and coding in OS. I think it depends whether you're letting an AI go wild and do whatever it wants, or letting it do the negative crap and checking its own. Seems like it's more of a brainstorm for ideas, could be useful for throwing things at the wall, so to speak. Vibe coding shows the current programming language are just too verbose. You see the other software company, Isle, go to Google data scientists and others created a tool which has found 12 0 days in OpenSSL. Bug-free vibe coding is coming, maybe. Oh, gosh. All right, so I had a rant about AI the other day, but let's just see if I'm right. My thesis is that every single thing that anybody says in positive about AI in the workplace, it always benefits the capitalist class, not the working class. Let's check. So vibe coding could be between prototyping and coding in OS. Well, that certainly doesn't benefit the working class. That benefits the owners of the software companies, yeah? Okay. If you're toning down AI and letting it do the repetitive crap and checking its work too. So your job goes from data entry or secretarial to managing AI and checking its output. Who does that benefit? I don't think it benefits the worker, does it? I think that benefits the boss. Next one. Brainstorm for ideas? I don't think I want ideas from an LLM, but yeah, I guess I could brainstorm for ideas, true. Finding 0 days in OpenSSL. So basically doing bug hunting. I've heard this is particularly useful use of AI several times over the past couple of years. This obviously directly benefits people that have huge enterprise level software that can't simply find all the bugs. So benefits the capitalist class again. My problem is that nothing that out of vibe coding, besides it being neat, benefits the working class. Nothing. Like, a lot of people will be like, oh, it makes my job easier. Well, you have to check its work twice as hard. What's up, D-Girl? Have an upset male cat, snip step. Oh no. He's losing his junks. It'd probably make him feel better, sadly. How you doing, D-Girl? Good to see you. Kat said, as a professional software developer, my role has been 6 months from being automated by AI for like 5 years. I built a simple inventory application for tracking my BattleTech models, LAMP running in Docker Desktop to an hour in Claude. No intention of doing anything, just wanted to see if I can do it. Sure. Nobody has any problem with that. No, like, cool. Good. Like, seriously, yeah. And I think that's the point you're trying to make. Like, you could make that argument for all tech and eventually the costs come down. But you could. You could make that argument, but the problem is the costs don't benefit everybody in the long run. They only benefit the people that own the means of production. This is how technology works in our systems. I bring up the Combine as a common example of it, but you can go to pretty much any singular piece of technology that's been utilized in the workforce over the past century. It does a thing where maybe the industry could become more efficient and it could be more product for cheaper or something like that, which you could say benefits mankind. I mean, sure, we talk about the Combine, more food for people, it's good, but what's really happening is that you have 99% of any major technology like this being used by people to profit off of the working class, period. And Combines are no different. Why would AI be any different from any other technological advance? And they all mostly benefit the capitalist class? Correct. That's exactly the point I'm trying to make. And this is why when people will say like, oh, AI is great for this thing at the workplace, it's like, well, I don't think so. Not in the way we use it. And you're like, well, is technology not good? No, technology is great. Just not when capitalists get a hold of it. That's the whole point. Because inevitably, just like we've seen with every single piece of technology, the material effects it has on our quality of life is, if not imbalanced by the level of control afforded to the people that own the means to make these things. And we see this all the time. All the time. You know, we see things get more expensive over time, not less, even though the technology is getting better. And there's a reason for that. It's called lack of regulation. Yvonne says, I'll be the devil's advocate is even worse when the socialists get a hold of it. Fair enough. So the problem with arguing about this stuff on the internet is like, you know, there's a pretty good chance that most of you have no idea what you're talking about with political ideology. I'm assuming possibly some of you do. But if I was to talk about like socialism versus capitalism and how technology is utilized in both, like the shit you guys would say would offend me super hardcore. Like I can already see the stuff that would come out of some of the chatter's mouth, right? So I'm doing you a favor by not going there, but you know, this isn't that difficult to understand, you know? And you should probably be aware that like I am a socialist, Yvonne. Like if you think socialist innately is like a bad thing that is going to be perverting any idea it's attached to, like I think you might be in the wrong stream. That's why I'm laughing, actually. That's the main reason why I'm laughing. It's like, sheesh. Fartbuckle gets it. The reason it's called inflation has nothing to do with the technology. Well, with all due respect, I'm not going to argue economic theory with a landlord, right? Like I definitely like you, but like I'm acutely aware of who you are based on your experiences, right? Like a landlord is about the furthest thing besides the capitalist class itself to exploit the working class. And I know that's gonna probably lose you as a viewer, but it's true. And also, you're completely wrong that technology is not the problem, and it's that it's inflation. But I don't have time to teach you basic Marxist theory. The problem with all forms of economic systems is people. That's a pretty decent cop out. Unfortunately, you know, I know you don't mean to cop out, but it is. To say something like that is to kind of just say like all these systems are the same. Feudalism, right? Feudalism is the same as slavery, is the same as capitalism, is the same as socialism, and these things are not the same. We know that. But it is funny, like the AI conversation is you can't separate it from talking about the working class. And you know, we can talk about socialism all we want, but you don't even have to understand what the word means to know what I'm talking about when I say the working class. AI is a neat tool that you can use at home to amaze your friends and create cool little dumb things that don't benefit nobody but yourself for goofy little tasks. Love it. But as soon as you start to argue it like it's making me better at work and stuff, it's like, well, there is a slight disconnect in terms of what it's making you better at. And it's making you better at making your boss money. Rent is the villain. Big House says you only argue economic theory with people who have the same beliefs. Well, no, the problem is I don't argue economic theory on stream, period. But, you know, chances are half of any given Twitch chat has no idea what's going on, right? Like we're not clueless here. Like we understand that the majority of people have no idea what's happening. They couldn't define the word capitalism if you put a gun to their head, right? Like we can kind of agree on that, right? And so if you open yourself up to a conversation about something somewhat serious and studied, something that you spent a lot of time actually understanding with a bunch of people that have no idea, it's a bad recipe. I don't care one bit if you don't like the fact that I own properties. What do you do for work? Well, I'm just saying that you're a landlord, so I'm not going to sit here and argue economic theory with you because you are a class enemy by definition, right? Landlordism is to exploit people. Like, you can do it and admit that, and we can all be happy, but... And the only reason I mention it is because you tried to critique me and say that it's not technology that reduces the quality of life for workers and makes it harder at the workplace. It's actually inflation, which is extremely not true. Wouldn't being a landlord also be providing a service? No. Being a landlord is strictly a pointless thing that has no place in a civilized society. And pretty much most people know that innately, even if they don't know why or how, or that there's another way around it, right? See, we got a bunch of people in chat that have no idea what the fuck's going on. And this is why we don't talk political theory. So I'll respond. Why not? So landlords don't provide homes. They get their mortgage paid for by a tenant and they build equity at someone else's expense, creating a class divide. There's no provision of home. It's strictly exploitation. The person who built the home and sold to the person, that's good. Psycho says, I'm still curious what your job is. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. Scotty says, I'm here to watch X-Flow. Psycho says, I have a feeling I know. Psycho, speak your mind. No problem. I have no issue telling you that I think landlords are exploiting people by definition. You can speak your mind too. So how will a home or building get built? Well, somebody builds it and then someone else buys it. Or more appropriately, the government builds it and provides it for people with a lifelong lease. That kills property inheritance. That kills everything all at once. There's a reason why that's commonplace in more civilized societies. What's up, Del? Chloro's a gangster. I've read like 5 books. That's it. Why do you have your module set on the bottom row, not the top? Yeah.
Have your modules set on the bottom row and not the top?
So this is actually Rebound. Here, I'll draw it for you. So normally it's like F1, F2, right? And then it's down. Mine are actually from the bottom up. Mine are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it's shift. Mine are like MMO controls. Right, so basically I start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here, and then it's shift the next row, and then it's control the next row. Rasputin says, let's say the government didn't help me or my father build our own home. Sure as hell didn't help me when I started getting my real estate journey. There was 2 sides, but I get the point. Well, the problem is your side is just exploitative and crab in a barrel and anti-progression and anti-human. And my side cares about people and understands that housing is a right that government should provide its people, not something to be afforded to those that actually can scrape it up and be born with the genetic cocktail that allows them to succeed in a hyper-capitalist society, right? The fact that the government didn't help you build your own home doesn't mean other people don't need help too. It means that you were capable, you did a good job, and you should feel proud. But you don't get to tell others they don't need help, because they do. It says before it gets worse. Is this that bad? Yeah. I feel like I'm being extremely civil. Even though I'm dealing with turbo libs, I have absolutely no idea what's going on, like I always expected. It's regulation and taxation that make it expensive for the working class. What? What? Holy smokes, what? Wait, what? Is this like one of those small business owners doing roleplay as the working class? What the fuck is that? This guy says regulation and taxation are the problems that are making it expensive for the working class. I'm sorry, what? Regulation is almost exclusively for regulating corporations to provide better services for people. Taxation is how we get the social products, services that we need. It makes it expensive in the same way that it's expensive to live in America because you need fucking health insurance out of pocket. Not because it's less money over the long run. Woo! Maybe stop insulting people who plain disagree with you. Did I insult you? What did I say? I mean, I can insult you. Do you want me to? Like, I feel like I've been pretty civil. I've been kept the ad hominems to a minimum here. Someone's like, I came for exploration. Yeah, we're trying, but I'm not finding anything. It's easy to want a socialist government when you're living in a capitalist one. If you live in a socialist government, you'd be forced to do a job you likely don't. That's not what socialism is. So you don't know what socialism is. So we're going to skip past this. In the States, healthcare and insurance is your primary problem, not landlords at the moment. This is a very liberal way of thinking, right? The whole point of dialectic thinking is that you can think about more than one thing at once and you need to look back in time and you need to do it from a scientific perspective. Saying that like you shouldn't worry about landlordism because healthcare is in such a bad state is not a good way to go about approaching any unsolved problem. Just to help you out, Cycle, that's not what socialism is. Socialism doesn't force you to a job. You're just making it up because you have no idea what the terms mean. What socialism is it is a form of it is a transitory system between capitalism and communism, characterized by workers owning the means of production and centralized government. That's what socialism actually is, right? Now that you know what it is, I'd ask you to please point out who's forcing someone to do a job. Under socialism, if you own the means of production, you get paid more for what you do, period, if your business succeeds. I mean, you're so against something that you don't even know what it is, right? You are a landlord who doesn't know what socialism is, who is so convinced that it's bad. It's not a good look. Anyone watch the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship? Dude, I couldn't watch that. I would cry. He says, stuttering, trying to explain it. Glad this soy boy has zero following. Folks, don't fall for this guy spewing his ignorance just because it's wrapped up in arrogance. I'll let you talk. What's up? You want to tell us your thoughts on things? What's up, XYZ? How you doing? In socialism, who ensures that things are distributed properly? Things aren't distributed in socialism, sir. You'd have no idea what you're talking about. It's a transitory economic system characterized by workers owning means of production and centralized government planning. Right? It's the government that would, in your idea, distribute things. Socialism is not communism. Precisely. That's why it's a transitory system. Like, trying to talk to people about basic economic theory from the West is really painful. I've never done it on stream. And there's a reason, because you get, like, you know, fucking Asmongold fans like here coming out of the woodworks to drop Soy Boy like it's 2014. What's up, Scrap? What's going on here? We're doing a class war. You're never gonna change it? Sure, I mean, no doubt. Hey, what's up, Tanit? Tanit, there you go. That's my boy. Tanit's my boy. Tanit, I'm just cooking some capitalists. It's all Gucci. How was your Groundhog Day? Wait, was it Groundhog Day? What's up, Cosmic? Zeba. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. We do all know that, though. The thing that most people don't know is that it's actually not okay to do landlording. It's actually not okay to do that. But we've been convinced that it is okay, right? Oh, Chloe, can I pay you pay rent? I mean, I own this building. I don't pay rent on it. What's up? Dude says I play video games all day. I play a shitload of video games, you're right. But obviously this isn't about me. This is about a guy sensitive to the fact that I said landlords exploit people. 1v1 me in politics. Well, the problem is I have the mic. People can't really get their take in, granted. But the other problem is that people don't know what the fuck these words mean. You understand? Like, we have a guy here who basically thinks that socialism is like Sweden or Denmark or something. Professor Crazy Scientist. What up, gangster? How you doing? All right, let's keep exploring real quick. And you don't have to know what these things are, but if you're going to pipe up with somebody who's read Capital, somebody who's read Black Shirts and somebody who's read everything, like the basic intro to everything. I mean, listen, I don't even want to say the names because you guys are going to get so upset, but like on contradiction, right? I've read from people that write books that have historically had some very strong opinions on landlords. You don't have to agree with books you read, but I wholeheartedly agree with what I've read. Once robots take off manual labor, then housing will change. I love it. There you go. No more manual labor at all. Is a corporation extracting rent way worse than a guy buying a duplex and extracting rent from a neighbor? I don't think it serves anybody to compare them and try to rank them. A corporation seeking rent from people is the point of a corporation. It just needs to be regulated because ostensibly they're actually providing a product. A landlord doesn't provide products. When you press a landlord on what they do, they often like, oh, I maintain it or something. It's like, no, what you do is get free equity and you save on repairs by doing it yourself. Damn, dude cooked me with the soy boy line. There's not been a point of time where fairness exists. Yeah, but that's the point of historical dialectic methodology. Is you're supposed to look at what works and what doesn't and how to get there. We understand, we're cognizant of the idea that capitalism for the working class is better than chattel slavery. We know that. But what we also know is that capitalism is extremely exploitative. And it's direct class warfare. We know that. We've known that for 150 years.
Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached.
All Scandinavian countries are socialist. Well, they're not. They're not. None of the Scandinavian countries are socialist. They're all capitalist. It is confusing though, right? Because they have, stronger welfare programs and stuff. Right? It's confusing because they pay a lot in taxes, but that's not what socialism is. Laos, Vietnam, right? CPC, DPRK. These are actual like socialist, Cuba. These are actual socialist governments. Landlords are parasitic by nature. Well, we don't have to call it parasitic. We can call it rent seeking. It's literally what it is. But yeah, I mean, if you want to call it that. I still think it's fair if you're going to give your opinion on how people in chat support their families. You tell us how you support. I know you're obsessed with denigrating me based on how I make money, but the truth is that, like, even if I told you everything you wanted to know, it's not going to change anything for you. Like, even if I suck and, like, I'm out there doing the worst thing ever or being the worst capitalist ever or being the biggest soy boy, that doesn't change the idea that you being a landlord is exploitative. No matter what deal you give your tenant, no matter how much you like them, no matter how much you take care of them, it is an exploitative relationship. And that's really why you're trying to figure out about me to make fun of me. I get it. So I'll let you. What do you want to know? You want to know what I do for a living? I do all types of stuff. I have small little residual incomes that come in. I make a couple bucks from Eve, right? I own the building here. It's a tiny, shitty little shack, right? So I don't have to spend a lot of money to live here. You understand? I've done a lot of things in life. None of them disqualify me from having studied Marxism and understanding what these terms are we're discussing, though. Do you think all profit is exploitative? Yes. Profit means to exploit. Definitionally, profit is taking the surplus value of labor and pocketing it at a rate, despite the people making it not receiving a disproportionate cut. That's the idea we're trying to make here. Profit is unethical. It is. And that's something that I'm not going to be able to convince anybody here, obviously, but that's like very early in capital, this is established. People want to remember that this is Close Scream. He's God King, President, Congress, and Executioner. I think I'm being extremely charitable right now. I'm nice and patient. I don't think the streamer whose key focus in a parasocial relationship is required to dox information about themselves. Yeah, fair enough. Speaking of doxing information, no ghost sites yet. Stream is a scam. See you, Saberdoc. He says, you're aligning communism and socialism. I'm not. I can articulate the difference between communism and socialism. It's probably you that are wrong here, but if you want to tell me what you think, we can talk about it before you leave. Sapper. I can easily articulate the difference between communism and socialism. It's not difficult. I've studied this. You are assuming profit is an above external labor cost. What about profit that can be made from one's own labor? So that's called selling labor, Big House. When you create something with your own labor, that's just called labor. It's not called profit when you create something and sell it. You could argue, okay, I took these materials, I made this profit. Sure, but you're talking about your own internal numbers. Everybody understands profit in a business sense to be the surplus value created on top of the labor and expenses that is going to the shareholders. That's what profit is.
to conflate it with freelance business or something where you're doing your own work would be completely inappropriate. That's speculation, not profit. I mean, if you make a wooden bow out of a tree and sell it, we're not talking about a profitable situation. We're talking about an act of labor. It's craftsmanship. Again, guys, it's literally covered in capital. I know it's a big book, but you can read it. You can read the Cliff Notes. Does the book have pictures? Oh yeah, tons of pictures. Tons of rambling ass Cliff Notes that fucking don't add anything to the conversation. That's for sure. I think the truth is that, like, you know, I gotta be myself on stream, and, you know, I'm not in PSL, but I'm obviously a socialist. If you've been paying attention at all on my stream, it's very obvious. I talk about labor a lot. I talk about working class a lot. I talk about capitalism a lot. But I'm a Western socialist. We're useless. We're pathetic. Our opinion doesn't matter. Has the economy talk ended? No. You have a whole labor wing? I renamed it from toiler to labor. Real talk though, if you're actually curious in any of this, I have no interest in converting anybody. I don't care. But it would be probably inappropriate for me to not offer to talk to anybody about any of this stuff that actually want to learn about it. You can always let me know in a DM. I'm not an expert, but I can probably set you on the right path with a reading list. There's a lot of people that are on one particular side of the capitalist socialist community debates. Yeah, I'm sure the debates in Ava are wild. Psycho says, I give you a lot of credit for owning what you believe. Excuse me. Yeah, no, I mean, dude, I still welcome you here. But the problem is, like, if I believe what I believe, when we're talking about economic theory, like, we're enemies. And if you feel that too, like, that's just how it is. But we can just not butt heads there. You feel me? I mean, I don't know how to square that, but sitting here, I don't dislike you at all. Any more than I would dislike some random other landlord, right? But with that said, you know, cat's out of the bag. Damn, we've been getting ages like crazy. It's like the 20th ages I've found. You said I don't like your hat, sorry. What's up, Alfac? I've noticed that you almost try to avoid revenue from your Twitch stream. What is your thinking there in trying to maximize the profit off of your labor? I'm not trying to maximize the profit off of my labor at all. I think it's amazing that people even give me any money on Twitch in the first place. I don't deserve any of it. This isn't labor to me, even though you could construe it as that because people do pay me. But if you want to look at it that way, I don't mind. I'm not trying to like deny you the hypothetical. I'm just telling you, this isn't work to me. He says it certainly is. Fair enough. I'm not gonna. That's like totally just opinions. Yeah. People can be enemies on certain topics, but commiserate and socialize in different fronts. Well, with Eve specifically, like, getting into politics, I lose half my chat instantly. The other half agrees with me, but doesn't know why, right? Or whatever it is. And by the way, I just want to say something very clear for people listening. Like, it's really easy to, like, think that this is, like, an intellectual gatekeeping activity. And that's exactly what it is. Except it's not something you can't pick up. It's something you could read. You could read the Manifesto and Principles in 45 minutes and know more about socialism than everybody you've ever met. And you might not like it, but you'll know what it is. Anyway, I digress. You know nothing about me? Well, I know you're a landlord. And you are an enemy of the working class, of which I'm a part of. It's not sad at all. It's sad that you're a landlord. But again, I don't really... You're not banned from here for being a landlord. Had I sold the house, it would have been cool. Yeah. If you sold it, sure. See, okay, I want to not be condescending. I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to say sorry for being rude. And I want to say one thing, like fundamentally, the reason why you're like the enemy is because of a belief that landlords take away from the working class. Now, you don't agree with that, which is totally fine. This isn't an issue of me saying shut up and read. It's just we're going to end it there. And you don't have to even humor my opinion. But that's why it is the case. There are certain things that are classes. You hear people talk about the police a lot, for example. They view that as a class or whatever. But I'm talking specifically about landlords. It is a class. And the truth is, life is a lot easier as a landlord, despite what they'll tell you. And there's nothing of value being added to the economy. So it's kind of hard to square that with me in a debate. And if your whole point is like, I'm a loser, like 100% true. But I don't think that takes away from the credence of my words here. What's up, Tank? How you doing? Increasing class consciousness is labor. Ooh, that's smart. Farpok was my boy. There's a ship in Eve called Praxis. It's also something leftists do in their free time. Bro, what's funny is like I'm so like far removed politically from like the people that you largely deal with that like it's not even a tolerance paradox anymore. Like if you just shut up, you can probably hang out here. If you're like, you know, ultra conservative or whatever it is, right? I'm sure you can still hang here. We don't have to talk about politics. But Yvonne literally said something about socialism. I'm like, oh my God, he's triggering me right now. Each ideology has its buffed. In Norway, you can check the income of your neighbor. That's awesome. Chloral's on a roll in his stream. I don't know. I feel like that was fine. Obviously, I lost some friends, but that's okay. Every time you do politics, you lose a friend or two. It's okay. But I'm not going to compromise what I've learned over the past decade for any particular chatter. It's obviously, you know, way more important to apply what I've learned. I have a wife and family to support. Yeah, no doubt. But you know, at this point, I would just say probably just let it go and don't try to justify it because there is no justification for landlordism to a leftist. So like, there's no real debate there. Like we've had the debates a long time ago. I don't think we should, for example, do what Mao did with landlords. I don't think we should do that, right? I think that that's wrong. But I'm just trying to explain to you that there's people who feel even stronger than me. This you get to not having a landlord or not telling. I mean, like I said, I own the building here, right? So I'm not even like in this argument as like, oh, I can't stand it, right? It's not even it. Although I have rented my whole life, it's true. Oktoberfest use games from friends, shit. Still trying to find a site here, but we're just cruising, chilling. My streams are mostly about Eve mechanics as well, but I do talk candidly when we need to. I own my house. I love it. Hell yeah. Well, owning a house in America, I'll say in the U.S. is pretty fascinating, right? It is it's nice to own a house. You have a kind of a bank at your fingertips, huh? Little second mortgage action if you need it. Collateral if you need it for something big. Never be able to own a house. I own a house with a mortgage. Fair enough. Yeah. There are people that like to rent, right? What do they always say when they like to rent? Oh, I like to move around. I like to not be tied down. But like, you know, they could do that. It's called like hotels and condos and whatever. I'm gonna drop it. I was just trying to follow your video on bullying and not back down. Yeah. Fair enough. Well, we disagree on economics cycle. So I won't lecture you. You don't lecture me. and I think we'll get along just fine. If the stream ever percolates into some economics, you just step on out of that one and roll your eyes. There you go. That's the solution. How do leftists feel about hotels? Landlords are just a different kind of hotel. Ah, interesting. So what separates a landlord from a hotel? Anybody? I mean, I can come up with a bunch of reasons. Most saliently would be a hotel doesn't provide shelter. It provides like a temporary resting point, like an inn, right? Whereas a house is a home. It's someone's home. It's a shelter, right? You could argue that landlord is just providing a long-term hotel, but no, what they're doing is providing a house for you to live in, aren't they? Or an apartment for you to make your home. It's quite a bit different. You can stay at a hotel long-term if you want, but who does that? Nobody would. It's too expensive. Hotel doesn't drive the house prices. Do you still love me after I started all this? Of course. I mean, I don't expect people to agree with me if that's the point. But whenever we do politics, it's like this is more than just a hobby to me. This isn't like, oh, okay, well, this is what I believe. It's like, I've gone to great length to understand what we've been doing in this world. And where we're headed and how to get there. Wish my landlord would clean my house. I've had landlords where they don't even do repairs. That's not really like against landlording. I know some landlords are great. They are. Some landlords are great. It's true. Hopefully Cycle is one of them. My whole take is it's still exploitative. But the point is you can still be nice and be exploitative. They're not mutually exclusive. They're not. And hopefully you're nice to your tenants. But the point I'm trying to make is I've had landlords who weren't even nice. They were shitting on me and taking my shit. Not even helping me. I remember one time I was in college and I had a landlord for some apartment and like he just didn't fix the oil heater. It was January and it's fucking like freezing. Like there's frost. Like I can see my breath in my kitchen. It's like 20 degrees in my kitchen, you know? You got that style of guy, but that's not really my critique in the first place. That's just a shithead. My tenant's a divorced mom with 6 kids. When you think of landlord, are you thinking primarily about owners of single family residence that they rent out, or does that include apartment buildings? Let's just move on because at this point we're starting to split hairs. But I'll leave you one final thing to ease your mind. A landlord is somebody that rents a property to a person to live in. That's it. That's it. Apartment, house, whatever you want to call it. You don't live in a hotel room. That's why it's not really landlordism. I try to move on with the aliens thing. It's okay. I had a landlord fill my fridge full of beer when I moved in. Good for you. Think of it this way. You can have like a partner who's really nice to you, but is also taking like, you know, all the money or whatever. These aren't mutually exclusive concepts. We play Capital U. Ham Loki or Autocannon Loki for Wormhole Nomading? Definitely Ham. Yeah, Autocannon is very passe. Apartment versus motel. Yeah, that's a lot closer, you're right. You think we're going to get a site today or no? Wow, this sucks. Let's just talk about your president. Let's not. I definitely do not talk about U.S. partisan politics on stream because it's just so vapid and uninteresting for a leftist. It's really just like, it's not fun. I know I got you going a bit, but I appreciate you trying to express yourself while still allowing him space and still being strong about what you believe, and just wanted to say I appreciate you being firm. Yeah, I mean, he was firm too. I mean, you got to understand, these are deep-rooted beliefs that I'm just shitting on, so of course people are going to react viscerally. It's just that, you know, if you are a leftist, like that's actually how you're treated all the time too, so it's nothing new to you. It's just a shame to make other people feel bad. I don't know how bad it is, but in other countries, I totally get your point on landlords, but at least in the EU, the problem is more like, are you to buy the house or not? And renting is an alternative. Yeah, I mean, that's generally how the West has been doing it up until the past 3 decades, right? Now it's a lot of countries are just seeing this untenable crunch to the point where, like, acknowledging the presence of landlordism, Airbnb encroachment, you know, like multinational conglomerate property ownership, all the way down to, you know, just families owning buildings, like, there's just no way out of it. Like rents are too high and buildings are so expensive. It's like it's a train that you were not on that is long gone since before the Obama years even. Someone says, how good is Kamala? We're not doing people's names. We're not doing presidents or politicians. Get the fuck out of here. Stop. We can talk Papa Marx, but that's it, baby. Is landlord going to say housing and rent prices everywhere too high? Yeah, no doubt. I think it's important for people to remove their belief system from their identity. That's a huge part of the tribalism craziness you see today. They feel like an attack on their belief system, an attack on them. Well, I mean, I can't necessarily say I agree. I mean, your identity is what you believe in, right? It's like with my stream, it's cool because we have like it's cool because we have like Eve Online. We can talk about all types of cool mechanics, lots of cool things in the world we can talk about. It doesn't have to be about economic theory, U.S. politics. It doesn't have to be about these things. It's kind of a choice to kind of be ignorant to them on stream generally. Today was just kind of a weird exception because Yvonne baited me. He's like, yeah, you fucking dirty socialists. I'm like, well, hold on. Well, hold on, sir. It's me. Scotty says Expo, right? Scotty's freaking out. Scotty's a little conservative, right? So me and him don't agree on everything. So he's just like, please shut up. How do you feel about Costco? Well, as far as corporations go, you know, they're up there. I don't claim to know everything about everything. That's not the point. But Costco, as far as an exploitative corporation goes, they tend to treat their staff exceptionally well. And whether it's because they have data that means they'll get more money for it in the long run, or because somebody in that business gives a fuck, I don't know. It almost doesn't matter, but it's nice. Never been to Costco? Yeah, Costco pays their workers a lot of money and they get a lot of benefits and like time off and stuff. It's one of the better jobs to work in the States for like, you know, that category of work. I think I'm not going to find a site. That's okay. We'll just do a clickbait. Funk says there's no exploitation in voluntary exchange. The tenant rents because he prefers, yeah, Funk. Yeah, I don't know how to respond to this without being mean. I'll try though. You are wrong. There is exploitation in voluntary exchange, and what you are completely ignorant to is the systemic effects that capitalism has on the working class. When you say this, you're completely ignorant to it, right? There is no other option for most people but to rent. So when you say it's just a choice, you are mistaken, right? You see where you're wrong? Now you're right that the landlord chooses to rent because he wants to make money. That's not up for debate. You totally did not address the statement. You talked about other things. I mean, I responded to the first sentence you typed. I responded to the first sentence. And then I explained how this is not true because under capitalism, you are coerced to work unless situations line up to where you become part of the capitalist class, whether birth or opportunity. Most people have to rent under capitalism. So to think that it's a voluntary exchange is to be completely ignorant of the systemic coercion associated with the entire economic system and how it actually functions. He says you reject a premise that is voluntary, easy on your part. Renting is not voluntary. It's not. And you know that. And you're a grown man and you know that not everybody can buy a house. So are you just trying to be a debate pervert, or are you just mistaken and you want to kind of come back into reality? Or like, where are you going with this, Funk? Because it seems like you want to self-destruct here for some reason. I don't really want to let you do it. I'd rather have a conversation and convince you that you're being silly. Renting is not a voluntary choice. It's not. You do not get born and say, do you want to rent or do you want to own? It's not a thing. Funk says, so housing should be free. Oh, that's so funny. How long have you been subscribed for? 9 months, and this is how you think? Whew. Oh. He goes right to this insane straw man. And by the way, yes, obviously it should be free. Obviously, housing should be free. Like, obviously housing should be free, but you're asking this because you think it shouldn't be. As if this is a gotcha. No, of course I'm honest. Housing should be free, and everybody in the entire world agrees with that, except for the capitalist class. It's not a straw man if you agree with it. Actually, it is. It just happens to be a really bad one. He says skip the ad hominem we're just discussing. No, what we're doing is I'm putting you a little bit, tiny bit in your place on this one. You are wrong when you say renting is voluntary. You are right when you say housing should be free, even though you think that that's such an absurd statement that it's like a gotcha. You're just that uninformed with how other people think. I'm not interested in how we're going to do that. I'm just saying, in theory, yeah, housing should be free. Who would disagree with that? People that want to rent. Also, funk reform. I think that you're a debate pervert. Do you genuinely believe that someone can be poor enough that they don't deserve housing? That is exactly what he believes. That is precisely what he believes when he says, there is no exploitation in voluntary exchange. He believes that you are given a choice between renting and buying at a young age or something. And putting words in my mouth. You are a debate pervert. I'm going to ban you for a week. I'll see if you come back in a week. You're a debate pervert. I regularly own people like you constantly on forums, and better luck next time, pal. Go sea lion somebody who's not actually capable of having this conversation. By the way, you get banned on this channel if you're going to do this insane debate perversion. You notice how Psycho Repeating didn't get banned? Because he didn't do this. He disagreed with me, stated what he did. He didn't play games. He just said his opinion. We disagreed on it. We moved on. This guy's playing games, and I got no time for it. 9-month subscriber, by the way, just banned for a week. Someone says, dude, fuck theory. If you believe something, you need to back it up. Yeah, Marxist-Leninists already did it. Yeah. Given the data of the last 10,000 years, that's not possible. Give us a practical theory that everybody can do it. In China, 90% of people own a house. Clorkin is the problem because you're saying what should be and what not is possible. Some people have no choice but to rent. A lot of them probably want to own a home. Yeah, D-girl, you get it. I think at some level of income, renting can be voluntary. For a few years, I was renting. It can be voluntary, but to imply that renting is voluntary is what, as he did, is just obviously patently false. And I didn't ban him for it because it's such a repugnant view. Because I wanted to give him a chance to understand that it's not voluntary, but he obviously is very convinced that it is, and then he wants to play debate games, so he gets banned. I own my house through a lot of hard work and a lot of savings. I had to rent. Yeah, no doubt. This really isn't that complicated of stuff, guys. If you have no way to achieve free housing, then you can't argue for free housing, says Captain Quirk. Nobody argued for free housing. Somebody asked me if I think it should be free, and I said yes. Wasn't even my point. He said that. We got some sober minds in chat. It's nice. We actually have some people that understand Marxism even. Kind of neat. By the way, don't play debate games with me in my chat. I'm so keyed in, and if you do it, you're going to get banned. If you just argue and you have a bad take, you're not going to get banned, unless you're like racist. But if you try to play debate games with me, holy fuck, you're going to get yeeted so fast. Ad hominem. Ah! Shut the fuck up, bro. You've insulted me. You damn right. Or use R word in the fleet. You know, I try not to be ridiculous, but like I had no choice but to kick that dude. He literally called 450 frat guys the R word in local on my stream. I'm like, dude, come on. Like, if you let the R word slip, it's like I don't really like listen. Like, listen? It's, you know. I mean, I don't personally say it because you know me, but the point I'm trying to make is, I had no choice with that one. Dude had to get cooked up. Cork says -1 sub. Hell yeah. Made this mistake in the past. Yeah, I usually just like delete it in chat or whatever I see ableism. Because most people don't even know it's like bad. With racism, everybody knows it's bad. I don't think it slipped. No, I mean his was very intentional. But you'll be like young guys in the corp or whatever that'll sometimes say, and it's just like you roll your eyes, like I wish they would not. But it's not like they're being racist or something that's way more overt and harmful. But I prefer no ableism if I can help it. But it's not gonna happen. Not an Eve. You're not gonna get people to stop saying the R word, that's for sure. Shows their maturity? Yeah, well they're young. And it's no excuse, but they seem like pretty good guys overall in my corp, which is cool. They're kind of down with the whole let's not shit on people for their identity thing. You could tell he regretted saying it afterwards because he tried to play it off like he was trying to work them up to get a fight. Well, I mean, yeah, I've seen this 1,000 times, these type of people. It's like when you have these debates, and this is a perfect example with cycle repeating versus this guy. Like you have these things where like there will be some venom back and forth, but it'll mostly be about the ideas and like because I believe this, I believe this. But then you have people that just want to fuck with you. I think you guys in the US have bigger problems than landlords and paying rent right now. What's up, Aussie? How are you? You mean the Orange Man disease? Yeah, we don't really talk about U.S. partisan politics or stuff that's going on here. I specifically don't do it in this space. I obviously talk about it a lot in other spaces, but not here. And the reason is because it's just utterly fucking devastatingly fucking depressing. But I guess I'm afforded that luxury because I am a white boy, huh? But anyway, I digress. Anyone else's screen freeze? Oh, did I freeze? Okay. Probably would have been way more of a dick. Well, fair enough. Well, I mean, we were both dicks to each other, but what I'm trying to say is that you weren't playing games. You were standing on business. I think your business sucks. You think my business sucks, right? But you stood on it and we got over it. This guy was going to drag me into a barrel and keep dragging me down no matter what I did. I can sense it instantly. You understand the difference? Like, short of being a fascist, you can hang it in my chat as long as you're not bigoted. But I'm no dummy, at least when it comes to internet culture. I understand when someone is fucking with you. Boop, 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 boop. Just doing some Z killing. I don't think this guy's going to stop me. 100%. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's just kind of what it comes down to. And the cool part is, like, I feel like most people that don't agree with me, like, want me to shut the fuck up a lot whenever we talk about this stuff, which is fair. Like, you're allowed to do that. But you do have to be slightly cognizant of the fact that I do feel strongly about this stuff, and you are watching me in a sense, so it gets a little bit, what's the phrase? Weird if you like somebody and you're very far off base from what they believe in. I could imagine it would be a little bit sussy. But short of being an actual fascist, interesting person, and I don't even know if you know what that word means, probably. People say it a lot and have no idea what it means as well. I think we could probably be all right. If you believe in democracy and liberalism, we can probably still be friends even if we're not going to the same political meetings.
Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached.
So here is my capitalist sub. What did we say about ghost sites?
Going right now, baby. Getting that young blue chip. Finally found one. Ooh, pack rat and a low sack. Neat. If you have enough agility, something like the Astero can actually root you pretty easily without having to bounce off the can. So I'll just show you now how this works. I just did these for fun. We're going to pilot down now until the rats come, and then we're going to take the last can after the rats leave, right? I used to do this all the time. I've shown this off multiple times, but when the rats come, they don't take this can. And this can has a blue chip inside every time. Why? Because they added it randomly like last year or whatever, and they forgot to actually make the can blow up when the rats leave. Zick, thank you for the subscription. Appreciate you. I'm still impressed that you actually remember that I have a rental house. I don't remember how long ago I ever said. Yeah, it made an immediate impression on me. Well, I mean, I'm a leftist. Cycle. Like, that's a big deal to people that think like me. And I didn't hold it against you for what it's worth. I remember thinking it. I'm like, damn.
Blocking request accepted.
But when you said, when you started getting involved in the debate, I was like, oh, hell no. Like, I gotta bring this up right now. And how this is not gonna like work for me to have this conversation without airing that out. Lord Death Raven coming in with a raid. Hell yeah, you guys just missed the sweetest debate of all time. We were debating the best religion. No, we weren't doing that. I'm just kidding. We were debating Marxism and capitalism. That's actually true. But we did it in a way that only offended a few people.
Blocking request
Oh,
accepted.
another one. I'm getting double rated here. I've never been spit roasted before. That's disgusting. You guys didn't even ask permission first. Thank you for the raid, Death. Hold on, let me get this can. We're doing a ghost site right now. You guys double rated me during a ghost site.
You clumsy pilot. This is hilarious.
And now it's a hype
Your
train.
escape pod was
Talk about
destroyed and
exploiting
you
the
died.
working class.
Well, actually, your old self died, and I miraculously escaped. Lucky for you that you have been reincarnated through an insurance clone.
Who won the
Open medical
debate?
Services, and I will show you more about
Capitalists
this nifty
always
little
win.
thing.
Always. I lost again. I lost again to these damn dirty landlords, I'll tell you what. This is what we just got. Let's see. I never win. No, we didn't have a debate, truly. We were just talking about stuff. So this is what I just got from it. 200 million, most of it comes from the blue chip, right? And this is guaranteed drop, which is just crazy to think about. So we actually managed to hit a site today. The question is, can I hit a sleeper cache before I get bored? Bun, what are you doing stalking me? Hey, yo, I got a stalker in chat. What is this? Hey, yo. This guy comes with my fleets. That sounds like an interesting debate. It wasn't that interesting. It was a lot of condescension and me talking down on people. Good to see you. Thank you so much for the raids. I appreciate every last one of you. Let me do a little shout out. Soup, what's going on? Appreciate the raid as well. What were you guys up to? Lord Death Raven. Wait, I did the wrong command. Shout out. Shout out. Soup Master 7. Oh, I remember this Soup guy. Yeah, I rated him a while ago. This is the kid with the mustache, right? Yo, he's such a handsome boy. I wish I had a mustache like that. I just get this stupid ass shit. Oh, I can't shout him out. I'm seriously considering doing a PvP. Do you have any recommendations for fits or ships me try? I mean, honestly, you can't go wrong with like the Tech 1 frigates if you're just trying to go out there and die a couple times. You should come with us sometime, D-Girl, on the fleets. You should come on one of my fleets and just feel it out. Probably not today, but next week I'd love to get you in. If you don't want to do that, if it's too much for you, yeah, just like a frigate in faction warfare space. I mean, come by the Discord sometime and ask them. They're really into PvP. Could you DM me and let me know when it? Yeah, I'll try to remember. I'm probably gonna forget, but I'll try to remember to get you in. The truth is, if you watch me stream regularly, you'll get in on a fleet. Because of NPSI, true.
Capsuleers, welcome.
Just kidding. It's a prank. Thank you very much. I'm not sure how a hype train happens.
Jumping.
That happens from raids? Oh, okay. All right. All right. So how do I exploit the working class through this hype train? So if I hit a level 5 hype train, I give out an Odysseus? Is that how I should do it? I'm trying to seek rent from the chatters right now. I'm trying to exploit them. I'm trying to train my capitalist brain. Do you have a stream schedule? Nah, honestly, but it's usually Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, sometime in the afternoon, EST time. It's really no schedule, though. You can just lease the Odysseus. Vexers for all. How would a capitalist think? Let me think. Let's see here.
Evangel GF975 says if you hit level 5 hype train you ban me for a week.
I think it takes more than Odysseus to get the chatters horny now. Yeah. We'll leave it at that. I'll take a level 1 hype train. I don't need to bribe
Awesome
anybody.
pilot jumping.
Nope. Skinner Beard coming in with subs now. Uh-oh. He's like, stop. All right. How do I bribe a chat? You got the people. They're trying to pay the rent. You have to exploit them. How do you do it? Someone said Barbaroga. No, can't do that. Level 10, you have to unban one person. If I had a level 5
disabled.
if I had a level 5 hype
Waypoint
train,
reached.
I'll ban 5 random chatters, and I'll give out an Odysseus, an Astradios, and an Astero. That's not bad. 5 bans. If you're the level 10, you should have to take an attendant. Be yourself. It's not exploitation. Then, my guy, it's just we're joking. We're joking because we had this big conversation about how landlords are exploitative. So I'm just kind of trying to tie it all back together and be funny. That's all.
Autopilot jumping.
Thank you for the subs. I appreciate you for real. Yvonne gifting subs. He feels bad. He baited me into a conversation. I mean, you know, the truth is that, I think it went pretty well. The discussion, the big socialist reveal. Poor Nestor. Oh shit, the Nestor. What do we do with the Nestor? If you hit 10, I'll give a Nestor. No, that's not worth it though. It's not worth it for you. I mean, I didn't do nothing this time. You haven't done anything since you've come here. You've been an angel the whole time, D-girl. You're the mom of the stream. Unless you don't like that, in which case you're not. $25 for a gag was worth it. I appreciate you, Skitter. I'll give something juicy out, don't worry. You don't have to hit level 5. Curious where you sound in Eve renting then. That's a really funny question. Well, I'm a little bit less offended by it in Eve because it is a game, but it is still naturally, inherently, innately exploitative, and there's no way out of it. But usually the conversation about renting in Eve comes down to, like, how can one man have all that power? You know, that's usually what it comes down to. In real life, it comes down to real people trying to live lives that are forced into situations that are bad. And it's like, the Eve one doesn't really bother me so much. Minor incidents during the debate, but other than that, everybody's happy. Well, yeah, I mean, I said some mean things, but I think I was actually way more composed than normal. That one guy called me a soy boy, though. I don't know how you go from Asmongold's stream to my stream. I don't know how he did that. He must have misclicked, but I mean, power to him, dude. That's respect. That's all love. My man's like watching me the whole time. He's like, based. What's a soy boy? It's like a dated term to call someone like a sissy, like a feminine man. You know what I mean? And I am kind of feminine. He's not wrong. It's just doesn't offend me. And I'm feminine in the sense that I'm like in tune with my emotions. I'm not afraid to, you know, reveal myself a little bit, be vulnerable. Asmongold collab for level 5 hype train. Yeah, I'll collab with Asmongold. That'll go well. I'm sure he's really into that. I like mining Veldspar. Hell yeah, you do. That's a pure task right there. That's a real laborer right there. One family, one community, one goal is to have fun. True. And that's why we don't talk about economic theory. That's why we don't talk about US politics, is because that shit ain't fun when we be talking about it. Somebody's got to talk about it somewhere, but it doesn't have to be us. But we can make an exception today. Yvonne got me good. You're not a soy boy, you're a soy man. I am kind of a soy boy. Oh, I'm a little bit of a soy man. You're right. I am. That's why I laughed. I was like, number one, dated. Number two, I guess you're right. It's not going to take away from it though. Psycho Repeating wanted to know more about what I do and stuff. Right now, I'm not, just existing, but I went to university, right? I've worked tons of blue collar back-breaking jobs, driven big trucks, dig ditches. I even did freelance writing when I was younger. I've done a lot of different things. From academic work to the lowest of blue collar shit. So it is, of course, obvious to see me sitting here playing EVE all day and to kind of feel that. There's no way he even understands what laboring is. But I can assure you I do. And I guess the whole thing is that, in many ways, it's kind of as long as you're not exploiting somebody and you're surviving, it's one of those things that I'm not really sure what the problem is if I'm a big loser, you know what I mean? It's not I'm not taking welfares and all this shit, none of that, but the idea is you don't want to debate with somebody that you don't respect in life too. That's kind of where it comes from that other person's end, right? Now you got a full truck? Hell yeah. Thank you for the hype train. I'm gonna go out and give out something juicy later when we're done with this. I'm gonna Pockman haul back, and then we'll get Jack back here in a little bit. We'll find something to give away. Level 3 hype train, not bad. I don't really deserve any gifts because I was roasting people today, but I'll take it. A level 3, and we'll find something for that. Scotty says you're not a loser, my guy. Well, I think so. But I appreciate you. Yvonne, thank you for the gifts. The fact that soy boy is a dated term hurts to hear. Soy is feminine because it's a bean. Well, because the bean ostensibly had high estrogen or something in it. But the joke, of course, is that so many other products have so much more estrogen in it. It's ridiculous. That was the original meaning of soy being soft and feminine, I think. Trans girls everywhere are just shoving soybeans in their mouth. Oh God, make me a lady. It's it doesn't work that way. If it did, trans people would be happy as fuck. That's why I love watching your beds, your live stream. They're very fulfilling. My beds? You watch my beds? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. D-Girl's getting a little too personal, chat. You meant stream. Oh, okay. Whew. I'm come on, stream mom. You can't be getting creepy on me. I'm just kidding. I figured that was a typo. 18 plus, yeah. Do you pick up the Mobile Depot? Did I? Yeah, I picked it up. Yep. It's a yurt, so I better pick it up. I think I disagree with you politically, but you're so level-headed compared to the other left-leaning individuals. That's where left is more. If I'm level-headed compared to the leftists you've talked to, oh my God. I tend to be extremely volatile and condescending when I talk to capitalists. But, yeah. I mean, if someone's being a dick to you, it doesn't matter if they're right. I mean, you can just tell them to fuck off. It's no big deal. Look at these prospects. They're shit. We're safe. Doing a little prospect mining. All right, let's keep it going. I don't know actually how much more of this I have. I kind of want to just keep looking in case I find a sleeper cache. It'd be fun to do it. Looks like I only have a few more systems left. Let's just keep scanning and then we'll go back when I'm done with the route. Some people online are wild. I mean, online I'm wild too, man. I'm forum posting. I get into long debates and stuff. But the point I guess I'm trying to get at is I'm pretty aggro. You can ask my chat. I can be pretty aggro, especially if we like disagree on something. I can come down pretty hard. But what's funny, I guess, kind of, like to do a little tiny bit of like self-indulgence, I guess. What's interesting is who gets banned and who it doesn't here. It is interesting. Like there's definitely a pattern. It looks random, I swear, but I swear there's a pattern. It's exclusively people that are bigoted or like debate perverts that just want to waste my time. Are you left eye dominant? Dude, my left eye is so bad, it's unbelievable. This motherfucker cannot read anything on the screen right now. And this shit's 2 feet away. It's not great. It's supposedly an astigmatism, but I think it's herpetogonosyphilis. I do have to defend myself. I worked at the same restaurant company for 20 years, started as a waiter. Well, I mean, fuck yeah, dude. I mean, dude, a lot of... And cycle. You can be a landlord and still be in the working class. You can be a capitalist and still be in the working class. They call it petit bourgeois, right? Petit bourgeoisie. It's basically somebody that does both. You can do all this stuff at once, right? But it's just the opinions of the leftists that none of this, you know, it can be both at once. Petit bourgeois is what we call like mom and pop, right? They have employees, but they make profit off the employees, but they also, right? It also can be bigger than that, but they exploit and sell labor. In your case, if you're just at the point in life where you're like retired or whatever, or you're set, it's just like, you know, you are just that from the eyes of the leftist, but that doesn't mean you weren't in the working class or don't know anything about it. On the contrary, pretty much everybody I've ever met that in America, in the US, they know what the working class is, despite not knowing what socialism is. It is interesting. And it's not because they're stupid. On the contrary, a lot of Americans are a lot brighter than they get credit for. A lot of US people, rather. The problem is, it is demonized to learn these things. Even if you don't agree with them, it's demonized to even be introduced to them. And you gotta wonder, what system is above criticism? Sure seems like in my country, if you criticize capitalism, you are essentially lambasted from every possible angle. Don't get them from Eastern Europe? Hell yeah. Not knowing what labor is directed about. Oh, no. I actually assumed you worked, to be honest. I think you mentioned it earlier. But I wanted you to know that I'm not just a loser that sits at home all day, even if I am just that now, admittedly. Because you asked earlier, and it wasn't relevant then necessarily, but I mean, you're still here. I'm both a landlord and a boss. Unfortunately, yeah, there you go. It's not unfortunately, dog. It's just, that's your life. I'm explaining how leftists think for your own education, just if you want to know. If you don't, I'm sure you would have tuned out a while ago. They are stupid. Well done typing that out. American here, I'm dumb as all hell. Amen. But you know what I'm trying to say? US people are largely just on the world stage considered politically incoherent, and that's true. We are. But even if we don't know the politics on a world stage, we just know Democrats, Republicans. Even if that's true, a lot of Americans just a lot of US people intuitively know what exploitation is. Intuitively know they're getting it raw at their job. Intuitively know they're being exploited and they should have healthcare. They know that, even if they don't understand why. It's not because they're stupid, it's because they're not taught. And it's an important difference to make, because it's all too easy to say, like, oh, we're just idiots that don't care about ourselves to get healthcare or whatever. That's not true. We care a lot, just like everybody else. But we have built a system that is pretty good at letting people fall through the cracks almost by design. I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not, says Skinnerbeard. You have my permission. One time as a tree, you can pretend to be a doctor. One time. You find a way to live your life the way you want, you're thriving. That's, well, okay, I'm definitely not thriving. You know, with a low means lifestyle comes, you know, poverty, and becomes, you know, lack of opportunity and stuff. But I feel comfortable with who I am, so that's kind of what a lot of people chase. We're almost at the end of the line. Fuck, I got to burn back there. Afro band. I know this guy. Is Losa Shania, or is he Good Fight? Whoa, I thought he was in Losa Shania. Hold on, wait. Did he change corpse? Nope. I guess I just know another Afro character. I'd say your creativity is thriving at least. Sure, no doubt. Yeah, it's like, you know, you got to compare it to like those cliche starving artist things if you want. You're extremely intelligent. No one is an intelligent loser. I aspire to be more intelligent every day. No shot am I intelligent though, and I can prove that I'm not intelligent. But that's neither here nor there. I'll just take it. Mir Canis, what's up? You'd be in the middle politically if you're left-handed and right-eye dominant. That's how it works. When the cops start asking questions about why I did surgery, tell them chloroquine said I could do it. Yeah, I told you could do one. Yeah, I have it written out. Don't worry. Just tell the cops to call me. The conversation makes me fly my freighter like I was asleep. The girl says that's why I love watching your live stream. You're real and hold no bar. That's why I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. Now, you know, that cuts both ways. If you disagree with me, you're not going to appreciate the bluntness. But you'll find that most of my condescension is unjustifiable. It's not required. It doesn't help. It just makes things worse. But that said, it's born out of frustration. That I learned some criticisms to capitalism so late in life that I was kind of, you know. You gotta understand, a lot of us aren't out there just like burning it all down. We just want to know how things work. We just want to have some understanding of historical facts. We want to have some understanding of systems that worked and didn't. It's brought me a great deal of comfort in life. Flying the obelisk is always easy. What do you guys even haul in a freighter? What could you possibly haul in a freighter? Scott, are you still here? Did I put you to sleep, bro? I know you were not digging this conversation at all. You're like, shut the fuck up, socialist scumbags. I'm just kidding. He's like, dude, I don't sound like that. Stop. Never. I will never stop. I think it was amazing you managed to find a completed ghost site while having a hell of a conversation. That's funny as hell. That was a low sec one, so they're really easy. But I mean, to be fair, I thrive in these conversations primarily because it comes from a position of confidence. But when I talk to other leftists, for example, they wreck me every time. Right? I'm not that smart. I find a lot of just historical studying to be extremely boring. So I miss out on so much context. I appreciate different opinions when they're actual opinions. I just don't engage with Orange Man bad comments. I don't think I talked about Trump once in this stream ever, have I? I'm not about to start, but I think the most thing I ever said was someone mentioned Biden or Trump, and I was like, I don't want either, thanks. I think that was the most I've ever said. I wasn't referring to you. Oh, okay, yeah, that other guy, gotcha. I mean, obviously I don't like Trump, but that has nothing to do with anything. Like, what the fuck? Of course I don't like him. Come on. If anybody thought that I liked him, I mean, come on. But I don't talk about him. You guys have 1,000 places to go if you want to talk about American politics. No comment from me, says D-Girl? It's okay. We're good. It's Friday, so we're getting a little loose. You guys could be anywhere, but you're here yapping about fucking the means of goddamn production, you know? I'm a conservative and I don't like him either. I'm not going there. Chloroquine, can you give me an example of successful socialist countries hold true social economic theory? So the whole thing is that, well, I'm gonna say it and then end it because I don't want to go further into this. But the idea is that socialism as a concept has been studied, attempted, partially implemented, tried to be implemented for a while. And it's had varying degrees of failures and successes, right? But I want to leave you with this one idea, is that capitalism has a very strong vested interest in not allowing workers to reach class consciousness, segueing into something like socialism so they could get a better life. It has a very strong interest in preventing that. So what happens is if you study the historical attempts at socialism, Marxist-Leninists, you study these various countries that have, for example, China with socialism with Chinese characteristics, right? They all have their own implementation of it. But what you find is that the one common thing among all of them is that they are utterly beleaguered from all angles: physical violence, gene assault, literally like genetic assault, down to political color revolutions. They are beleaguered by capitalism from every single step. So what happens is when you analyze the attempts of governments, even there's a bunch of existing socialist countries out there right now, but the ones that have attempted, failed, dissolved, right? You really have to look at it from the perspective of, wow, there was a lot of obstacles there presented from another competing ideology. What we have now is not true capitalism. It's a capitalist. It's a capitalist, country. I mean, I suppose there's a lot of debate to be had there as to, to what extent does the U.S. government subscribe to raw capitalism and borrow from other systems, sure, but like to argue that the US isn't like so far capitalist that we've become imperialistic now for almost 100 years or more, I don't think it would be honest from my perspective to do that. I think that we are a capitalist society in the same way that I think China is a socialist society, even though they're both not pure. It really is largely about intention and quality of life. That's tends to be historical, and the historical way to measure it based on like what they were trying to do. Maybe they failed, maybe they sucked at it. And then there's obviously what's happening to the people. What's the means of production in the new AI or compute power generation chip making? I don't know. I don't even know. Yeah, you could say data centers, you could say the root models or whatever the fuck. I'm not wise enough to understand precisely how AI slots into producing. Obviously, I have strong opinions on AI and how it doesn't benefit us, and I think that stands on its own, but I actually don't know where the means of production even lie in AI. I don't even know if there's a product there, but I'm certainly would be willing to learn. I just don't know enough and haven't necessarily thought about it to that extent, which I should. But it's safe to say that even if you don't know specifically where the hairs are split, the means of production are the things required to make the product besides labor. Everything. The GPUs of production. I think we can all agree the real problem with America is the J spacers and bubble campers. Fucking called out. Instantly called out. It's kind of scary because I don't understand it. Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. I think there's a world where I think there's a world where it becomes more normal to kind of seek criticism to the way we do things, and realize that criticism it's not necessarily antagonistic. We talk a lot about something called critical support, and this is an incredible tool in your repertoire, your armoire, or whatever, arsenal, that's it, of things to deal with. D-Girl says, what's your opinion on AI? I've talked about it a lot. I think it's being used, like many technologies, to exploit the working class and further divide the wealth gap and capitalism in the West. However, it's terribly neat and interesting and cool. But overall, I think the way it's implemented and the way people act about it is incredibly cringe and or further pushing our ability to earn a living wage into the dumpster. So I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Maybe it's all a bunch of hubbub for nothing and it'll be gone in 2 years. I have no idea. I just think that if you're being asked to use AI at work, I would just, I would be personally a little bit concerned about that. Although a lot of people just do it, no problem, and they get it done and it's not a big deal. Personally, it bothers the hell out of me. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just curious. What factors from capitalism prevented socialist countries from prospering? Oh, well, okay. I mean, so I'm stuttering because like there's just hundreds of thousands of examples, right? I mean, are you familiar with South America at all and the various socialist projects that have gone on down there and the US's role in them? I don't know how much you know about this before I kind of like talk about it. Like, it's a little bit shocking to me that even like somebody that doesn't know what socialism is, or let's say you do, but it's a little shocking to me that you don't know the CIA interferes with global South budding socialist states all the time. You know, like that's almost like one of their primary directives, and that's not a conspiracy theory. I mean, this is what we've been doing on record for almost as long as the agencies existed. I mean, shit. I mean, okay, so you want specific examples. I don't think I'm going to necessarily do that. But what I'll tell you is the kinds of things they do. They do coups. They do color revolutions. They do protest escalations. They do pamphlet dropping to agitate propaganda-wise. We annex things randomly. I mean, to be fair, we literally just captured the head of a state. Completely against international law. So I guess I'm kind of confused. Like, are you just unaware of what the U.S. does on a global stage to combat socialism? Or is this like a trick thing where you're trying to like drag me into the mud here? Physical intervention issue? Yeah, no, it's a physical thing. It's like they literally, it's benefited capitalism to slow communism and or stop it completely. In this case, socialism, but that helps literally nobody for the capitalism to interfere with socialism. I think the capitalists would disagree with you. Leopard. Thank you very much for the compliments on Under My Tail. Another episode next year, yeah? Take care, dude. Thank you for coming. Sorry the conversation was political today. We've never really done this before. I've been streaming for a while, never talked politics, really. Taking a nap before work. Take care, Skinnerbeard. Your opinion, do you think it'd ever be takeover depending on... No, I don't... well, takeover? You know, I guess I never really thought about it like that. People becoming too reliant. I think people are already there. Like, people are committing suicide and stuff because of ChatGPT, like leading them into psychosis and stuff. I'd say we're already probably there. But for the masses, the masses won't adopt AI because it's goofy as hell. I don't know if they'll get everybody on it. The Contras, thank you, Mir. I mean, listen, it's actually like there's so many things that I don't necessarily know if I should begin going through it, kind of deal. You did well defending your views politely. I was a little bit of a dick at the start. What I should have said to Cycle, in all honesty, if I was being a better person, I should have said, like, we have very different views because you're a landlord and I don't respect landlords for this reason. But what I think I said was, I'm not taking no advice from some landlord or something like that. That's kind of where I could do better. And I say shit like that all the time. It's not great. It just weakens your own argument. All good is how I heard it? Well, yeah, I mean, I said it in the Venom way. Sorry, question might not have been phrased correctly. I thought you were saying that capitalism just existing caused socialists to not work. Well, in a sense, I am saying that, but no, I'm talking about actual people with boots and fingers getting in the way because it benefits their global imperialist efforts, right? You gotta understand, a lot of the nations that want to do socialism, they tend to be developing or otherwise vulnerable, and they have a lot to offer imperialist forces as labor farms. I mean, if anybody looks back even 20, 30, 25, 30 years now, in the 90s, like, we tried to do this to China, and they're like, okay, thanks for all the money, and then they're just, like, developed after we use them as a factory, right? The goal of capitalism, imperialism specifically, which is the form of capitalism in a state that happens after you've kind of exploited everything within the borders, you kind of go outwards for more stuff, right? That's what imperialism is. We see it in forms of colonialism and so on. The point is to like not let them develop so you can milk them forever, right? Britain, India, right? That didn't happen with China. Strangely enough. So you got to wonder, like, no matter what your perspective is, like, well, we made them into a factory from this country, and then they actually ran with it. Some miscalculations were made there, is kind of the point. Normally what happens is you do a color revolution, you get a candidate that has popular support that kind of is backed by the US hegemony, and then you have essentially some influence and or control over this nation, and you can have your corporations go in there and do what they do, right?
Autopilot disabled.
But in reality,
Waypoint reached.
you know, it's very much capitalism that's causing these people to do this. They see a chance to exploit somebody for their labor and make profit off of them. It just so happens to be entire states. And it happens to be the US alphabet boys that are the ones perpetrating these schemes, which sounds conspiratorial, but like there's so much evidence to the point where if you denied it, it would be akin to denying the moon landing or something, right? It would be ridiculous. Even conservatives do not deny the CIA fucks with socialist countries, obviously. They just sometimes like it or whatever, you know? Thanks for the Linux work, man. Hell yeah. I'm going to do a video probably in a month or two, get people up to date on what we're doing now, get some fresh people in the Discord. I just promoted Katrina and Mark on the Discord to mods because we've been getting a lot of spam. Someone says, well, we've been to the moon? Yo, I agree with that, says Quirk. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. That's where massive trade deficits come from, and that's what's so upsetting. Need to go back to the old days. The moon landing was real? Okay, sorry. Yeah, okay. Obviously the moon landing was fake. My bad, my bad. What's a conspiracy that's so obvious that nobody could say it's fake? Oh, Epstein. Yeah, duh. The moon is just a dot floating above the flat earth, says Rizio. Damn, Rizio, you been here this whole time listening to me whine about this shit? I think the trick on my stream is I can talk about politics, but it has to be from like a point of like me trying to share some cool thing, not like putting people down. The moon landing is very real. The moon though, very fake. Let me go get another drink here and we'll find something to do. I feel like streaming for a while longer still. Is anybody still watching? It says 130 viewers. Oh yeah, I got rated, right? Thank you for the raids earlier. Oh yeah, did I ever get Soup his shout out? There we go. Someone said, I'm sure you've heard this before. Where is that at? Having trade deficit is not inherently bad. Yeah. Yeah, there's going to be economic stuff that I'm not going to have any understanding of. And when you talk about the incentives of trade deficits and stuff, we're starting to leave something I feel comfortable talking about. But on a human level, yeah. If somebody owes you money, it can be advantageous. However, I think the point Funk's trying to make, was it Funk? Fart, excuse me. The point Fart's trying to make is that, you know, these are natural depending on the size of the economies and the various local demands. For example, like you're simply not gonna, you know, probably beat like Japan's fishing or something. You know what I mean? Like there's just no way, like if that's the primary import, it's going to be in balance or whatever it is. But it is an important sign to understand if you're trying to see how countries can leverage and take hold of other countries, right? We talk a lot about, you know, the US and what it does all over the world and whatnot. But yeah, I feel like trade deficits can't necessarily be bad. If anything, if by definition. But I feel like miscalculations were made with China to the point where like there's got to be some people in the US circles of people that make the shot calls. Like there's got to be some people that are extremely embarrassed over their handling of China in the last 30 years. Like you got to imagine like their job is to make sure they don't become a superpower, and you've done the exact opposite. It's crazy. I happen to like China. I know a lot of people don't like China. I happen to like some of the things they do. I don't idolize them, of course. That'd be insane. Never been there. But I like some of the stuff you hear about with the cities and various whatnot. But all countries suck. Let's just be clear. I don't think there's a utopia out there. I think that the US, for as much as I don't like all the types of things that we do here, is very comfortable, right? But yeah, I think the segue was from like, how does capitalism affect budding socialism? And the answer is in every way possible. In any way possible. By any means necessary. Sorry, Malcolm. So what does that actually mean, though? Like, who gives a fuck? Well, it kind of matters for one sobering reason, is that it's kind of hard to say socialism sucks when it's just continually beleaguered. And one of the few examples of it actually like surviving, you know, was actually, according to history books, had a huge positive effect on the population. Both instances, actually. Lady, I'm taking care of, saw your picture. She thinks you're very cute. Aw. Tell her thank you. Tell her that I hope she has an awesome day. And she made me smile. She didn't actually make me smile, but I'll pretend. Anyway, I'll shut up about that stuff now. Let's go to Chrysler Vrog now. Oops. You know, Psycho, this boss is in socialism too, right? Being a boss isn't bad. It's just the profit part. Oh, but why would I be a boss without profit? That's another question for another time. Capitalism with strong regulations is the least bad system we've tried so far, says Jogi. What's up, Manny? You taking pictures of me? I think you've done well in not putting people down. Two guys ripping each other over Discord. Yeah, well, I was a little hot at the start, which is kind of the regret. But thank you for the validation. I appreciate you. Oops, I'm burning away. I'm burning away. All right, let's pop into Trig Space. I'm going to show you how this works. So I can tell you how to get the tabby really quickly through Trig Space. And I wanted to show maybe some of my courtmates how this works. I did spawn as far away as you can go, but I'm in an Astera, which means I could technically get drag bubbled, stop bubbled, or interdicted on a gate, but I'll be honest, not really too worried about it. We'll try to outplay it if it happens. It all comes down to what type of person you are, really, yeah. There are political ideas that trump personality, right? For example, you know, it'd be hard to be friends with someone who's like, oh, I love Hitler. You know, it'd be kind of hard, even if they were the nicest person. You know, it'd be hard. But for most people, even leftists, you know, even us weirdos, we do want people to succeed and to do well. It's just the small little detail that, you know, actually getting that to happen is not the easiest thing in the world. Saber just cloaked? Oh, he jumped. Okay. A lot of the ideas that leftists espouse even, I should say, and more less derogatorily, is it comes down to like challenging things that you believe in. That's why it's so provocative. That's why people call anybody that is left of center a tanky. That's why everybody gets really up in arms about this, because like it's very provocative to be challenged on something you know so dearly. Right or wrong, you won't feel about it. Someone clipped that? Oh, what happened? Uh-oh. What up, old beans? How you doing? How you doing, old beans? I'm fucking working here. I'm doing my labor. Yeah, the reason why I can't call this a job is because even if it was one, I can't call it one because it would make me want to stop doing it. So whether or not you call it a job, that's fair on you. But this feels like I'm going to the skate park and I have like a sponsor from the local energy drink company and I'm getting paid a couple of dollars. That's what it feels like. You know what I mean? Impressive Twitch name? Life of Slime. Wait, he's got old beans with an underscore, though. Is it really that impressive? Should I have not said that? That's rude. Sorry, I love your name. People often forget the reason that they have weekends, 8-hour workday, child labor laws, because someone died protesting for it. Imagine protesting for 8-hour workdays and dying. Like some coal miner. You're like, boss, I don't want to work so much. And he's like, oh no. Oh no. Get a new bro with LSP fit do any form of JSpace routing. Yeah, you can get into Praxis and do C3, but it's really shitey. I'd probably stay away from JSpace routing till you get a little bit more up to speed, but Praxis would probably be the way, right? Someone stole Farbuckle from Well, I'm assuming you're a leftist based on what you're saying, so I'm surprised there's any of them in the chat. Zedekiss. What up, buddy? With there were phase where I had PS4 and the old account name was Old Beans. The Industrial Revolution. All right, so we're in Skarkin right now. So we're just going to wait 10 minutes and we're going to proximity. We can also just check out and see if there's a wormhole, just for funsies. Sometimes, obviously, they are fixed in their destinations, right? Yeah, coal mining towns and shit. It's like, I don't want to work today. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to kill your whole family. It's like, whoa! I don't know about this anymore, boss. He's like, yeah, you do. And you're going to go down to my store and spend the money that I gave you on my products. All right, we're going to have to wait the 10 minutes to jack up out of here. So the premise is, look where we are right now. You see where we are? Hold on, let me do 3D. We're right here. Tabitzer is right here. So if we use a proximity, we're going to land in one of these like 6 systems guaranteed, which means we're like 3 jumps from Tabitzer minimally. Big brain shit right here. Wait, I never got my drink. Wait, did I just stand up and walked out of here and didn't even get my shit? What the fuck? Madness. You sons of bitches. Your YouTube Nomad series is good stuff. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. I remember somebody earlier, they said I was conflating socialism and communism, and then they left. I explained to them I could articulate between the two, and then they never replied. And I guess I just want to say, like, no, I was not conflating them. I could easily define what these things are because I take an interest in them, and kind of a self-report there. We've said socialism is what? Characterized by multiple things, primarily workers owning the means of production, centralized government planning, nationalizing businesses, right? Communism is not that. Communism is stateless, classless, moneyless society governed by the people. Completely different thing. But I don't think that chatter was intending to learn something. It's a curse you remember the name, yeah. In their defense, many of us, including academics, conflate these terms. But at this point, it's so established what they mean. There's no point in playing games, right? Usually when people are like, oh, that'll never work, they're talking about communism. We know socialism works. We know it. I mean, it's a fact. It's your opinion whether it works better or not, but you'd be basically arguing against the well-being statistics of people generally. It's interesting because you look at like the lift that socialism gives people generally. Capitalism also gives a lift, but the problem with capitalism is it goes up and then it comes down. Socialism is asymptotic. Yvonne says, where did it work? Right now, there's like multiple flourishing socialist countries out there right now. Would you say Norway is not socialist? No, Scandinavia is not socialist. They are capitalist. They just have some interesting social democratic platform or programs. They have higher taxes and stuff like that. That's what a lot of people believe socialism is, but it's not. Socialism is characterized, again, by the workers owning the means of production and governments that do a lot of centralizing, both in nationalizing businesses and planning. There's other definitions, but those are the two most important. Which country are you describing? Yeah, I listed a bunch earlier, right? In terms of thriving, I mean, the obvious example is China, right? It's a socialist country with Chinese characteristics that has private regulated capitalism in bubbles that it uses to interact with the rest of the world. Which country is the most socialist? That's not really how this works. They're all different, just like all capitalist countries are different. You have places like, well, China's not a modern dictatorship. I mean, you don't know anything about China's political system when you say that. It's a one-party state, but it's not a dictatorship. And I'm not going to sit here and teach you about China's political structure, but you can go read about it on Wikipedia. But what I'm trying to say is that of all the countries that identify and have these characteristics, most of them are beleaguered. Right? Most of them are beleaguered, as we described earlier. You look at Cuba, you look at DPRK, historically Vietnam. Not so much Laos, but extremely beleaguered. USSR, definition of beleaguered since its conception. Yvonne says, of course, it is Xi's the man. Well, I'm not going to teach you what a dictatorship is. I'm not going to do that. But I will tell you that China's government has a lot of democratic apparatus inside of it. It's a one-party state, which sounds foreign to people that are used to two parties or coalitions or multiple parties. It's foreign to hear that and be like, oh, that's a dictatorship. But it's not. It's unequivocally not. And you can read about that on Western Wikipedia. US Wikipedia will tell you how the political systems work in China. I can tell you it's not a dictatorship. There's a chairman of the party. But we really don't want to mince these things because a dictatorship does not look like that, does not feel like that, and has dramatically different results for the people. Capital doesn't control politics in China. China executes billionaires. How wild is that? Whether or not that's good or bad, you tell me. But they do it. So outside of China, what's another one that you think that works well? What's wrong with China? Do you need 5 socialist states to take it seriously? Because like I said, pretty much every socialist project in the world has been beleaguered by capitalism since conception. That's just how it is. I named DPRK and Cuba. These are extremely beleaguered nations that subscribe to socialism, that are embargoed and essentially sanctioned from every possible angle from the US. They don't just cut you off from the US, they cut you off from capitalism at all. You can't interact with anybody if you want to try it. And that's by design, to put maximum amount of pressure on it. The US would rather watch people die in Cuba than do normal trade with them. Which is fine. I mean, I guess you don't have to trade with Cuba, but you're going to be called what you are when you form a multinational embargo on them and enforce it with military. Not trying to bait. If you want me to explain why I think China is a bad example of a socialist country. Oh, of a successful country. You don't think China is successful? Okay. All right. Actually, now I want to hear what you have to say. Now I'm curious. I'm going to reserve my judgment. What makes China not successful to you? Because I don't think I've ever heard this before. How is the force we impose on Cuba different than the force of leadership China imposes on the people to make sure it operates the way people in charge want? Well, let me put it this way. You know, the force that we enact on people in the US, and this is a whataboutism moment, but the force we enact on people, the citizenry in the US, is magnitudes of order more severe than anything that happens in China. And I know this because you can look at things like the incarceration rate, the incarceration durations, the crime rates, right? You can actually look at statistics over time and see the different ways in which we handle these things. The way that America handles its business is to enforce property ownership over all else. Life Islam says China has a home ownership of 90%. Yeah, I said it earlier. In China, you don't own your home in the way we think you own your home, though. You lease it for life, and then it goes back to the country, and then they can lease to a new place. That's very strange for US people. We couldn't get Minnesota under control. Nicaragua got it rough. South America has gone through so much shit. What's up, life? So the question was, how is it different? Well, you can't really know. You're not there. But you can look at clues. You can look at historical facts. You can look at the quality of life of people and the various metrics we use to determine that. Yvonne says you do not own anything in China. That is also false. Yvonne, you know, you have a lot of misconceptions about China. There is personal property in China. Odd question, are you still selling Loki halls? I'm not really selling them anymore, but I'm sure if you contact me, I can get a hold of it. I promised my corp a bunch of ships I never got around to doing either. Let's see if we can get out of this. No, someone's scanning us down. Yvonne says, yeah, on paper. No, I mean, I don't know how to tell it to you, but you don't really know anything about China. So a lot of these things you're saying are wrong, and you should probably look them up because I'm trying to help you. China has a ton of things they do incredibly stupidly and wrong. They're not without criticism. The criticism from leftists to China is extreme. But to say it's a dictatorship doesn't, it shows you don't really know what the term is. You don't know anything about Chinese political bodies and how they actually function. And to say there's no personal property in China is just patently wrong. So you just gotta do a little bit of, research, change these ideas around a little bit. Can you openly criticize the government in China? No, you cannot. They do not have the same freedoms of speech that Americans do. Make an experiment, found a socialist corp in EU. What would be interesting to see how it goes, what works and what not. I have no interest in that. I mean, I guess it would be fun, but I have no interest in running it. That would be a lot of work, and the wreckers you'd deal with would be extreme. You would deal with wreckers, half your corp would be wreckers. The US economy is the engine of the world. China is only successful when they allow the capitalists to come in and exploit their Hungarian populace. They used to have to steal technology from the US to drive any innovation in their closed economy. To call that long-term stable economy is simply not true. As for Cuba and DPRK, to say they are the way they are because the US economy refuses to trade with them proves the point. Without the capitalist society interacting, they lag. Well, I mean, you took the time to write it out. But, I have a lot of problems with this. They used to have to steal technology from the US. True. Oh, yeah. But here's the part that you don't know. And this is going to blow your mind. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think that's bad. I don't believe in intellectual property. Stealing technology sounds like somebody is trying to charge rent and you would like to also do that thing. Reminds me a lot of the pharmaceutical company having the cure for some random disease and charging you money for it. I don't really mind that they steal stuff. Maybe you do mind that, but here's the part that's going to kind of usurp the argument completely. The US also steals technology, my friend. All over the world. So moving over from this, the US also steals technology. All of China's innovation was not stolen, right? They have more advanced fighter jets than we do, and that's not stolen because they are literally more advanced. They're another generation. But if you don't think China is stable and long-term, I think you should read more about the economy of China. It is more stable than pretty much every country that doesn't have a military base in every other country, such as the US. It is extremely stable. The quality of life over there is ballooning out of control. And this isn't just an opinion of a random leftist. This is all we could probably look this up together. I'm just lazy and I don't care, I suppose, that much to drag you into something you don't care about. The last thing he says, as for Cuba and DPRK, to say the way they are because the U.S. economy refuses to trade with them proves the point. It does not prove the point. Because I want to make this clear. When the U.S. doesn't trade with Cuba, it's also saying that anybody that trades with Cuba will see our military. It's an embargo. It's not just we don't want to do business with you, it's saying that nobody will ever do business with you again until you bend the knee. It is a completely different thing than saying we are not going to do business with Argentina, right? It is much more insidious. It is guaranteeing that with the military might of the US's world hegemonic military presence, that this country will not receive the oil it needs to run hospitals. It's a little bit different than saying, no, we don't want to trade bananas with you, right? And this is just one of the various methodologies that my country uses to control other countries. As for DPRK, DPRK is interesting because they actually managed to make fucking nukes, which gets you a lot of respect on the world stage. So you have this crazy socialist country that the US wants nothing to do with that has nukes that you actually have to take seriously that's right next to China. It's pretty bizarre. And DPRK has a ton of problems, but they're extremely beleaguered by everybody except China as well. And whether or not they deserve it, that's irrelevant. People don't deserve to be embargoed, period. China has superior fighter jets? Well, I said they have more advanced fighter jets. They have 6th generation jets, right? You can fact check that if I'm wrong. Scrap. I think technology-wise, probably the F-35 is going to be even more technology than the newer jets. It's just that they have different, more contemporary technologies. I don't know. I'm not a military guy. Shooter says no? Thank you. You guys can set the record straight here. They have a massive Navy too? Yeah, DPRK. And it's kind of funny that the only kind of way to, get any respect on the world stage is to have nukes and a massive military. That's why we spend so much effort trying to make sure Iran doesn't get a nuke, because then all of a sudden we can't impose our will in the Middle East as easily. I'm sorry if you went over this whole thing before. No worries. Were you trying to say that it's not a dictatorship? Was this sarcastic because of this? Because lack of free speech doesn't mean it's a dictatorship, if that's what you meant. J-20's latest, 5th gen, and nowhere's near a F-22. Yeah, the J-20 is a 5th generation fighter, so I guess I'm just not familiar with F-22. So you're trying to explain to me that America still has superiority firepower over China? I mean, that much you're not going to get me to disagree with. If I'm off on the jets, I apologize. My impression was that China had the 5th generation jet completed way before people realized. So if I'm off on that, we'll scratch that one for the record. I don't want to actually be ruining my own argument here. Yeah. By the way, you saw me Pokvin. By the way, you saw me Pokvin, and guess where I am? I'm 1 jump from Tabby. 1 jump. Jogi says they have a system that's very authoritarian, but not a dictatorship. Yeah, no doubt. So just one little tiny pet peeve, and this is not me arguing with you. This is just the word. The word authoritarian is not real. I know, that's going to blow your mind, but it's actually not real. Like every single government wields authority. The term is basically like the term terrorist or expat. It's like literally used depending on context based on nationality or race. Like a white guy who moves to Cambodia is an expat, but a Cambodian who moves to England is an immigrant. You know what I'm saying? Authoritarian is only used to describe nations that are opposed to the US hegemony, period. That's the only use of the word. Now, if you're talking about a government that is totalitarian or dictatorship, these are real terms with real meanings. Authoritarian means that it's a country that uses authority that the US doesn't like. That's what I've learned. It's like the word terrorist. It just depends on who you want to boogeyman. That is what we're going to call a terrorist. It's fascinating. People don't describe the US as authoritarian. I'm sure people do. I'm just trying to say, my understanding of the word is it came to popularity as a way for us to classify other countries that we didn't like the way they were running the government. Do you play exclusively on Linux? Yeah. Yep. I've been on Linux now for over a year. Made my last episode on Linux. I'm on CachyOS. Here's my fast fetch. Can't type. People don't describe the US as authoritarian. Have you been on Reddit? Yes, of course people call the US authoritarian, of course. They also call every other word, too. In an academic sense, the word authoritarian has largely been used by alphabet boys to describe countries we don't like. That's kind of where I'm getting with this. That I'm not trying to say in common parlance, people don't call the US authoritarian. And I could be even wrong about that. Anything I say could be wrong. It's just my understanding. Anyway, what a weird stream. There's no way anybody's still here. 117 people still here. What about YouTube? 21 people on YouTube? That ain't bad. That ain't bad. Trying to wean myself off Linux. Huh? You're trying to wean off of Linux to go to Windows? What? What? Oh, you said it backwards. Oh, whew. Bro, I was about to like spend another hour interviewing you. Find out like what is going on. It's a battle song. How they exercise that power in the citizens, you can say well, sure. And ultimately, I can't tell you how to use a word. My observation was just that word seemed to pop up a lot when our agencies were trying to demonize and antagonize primarily Global South socialist projects, but not always. Change the topic. I love the broadsword so much. Zeticus, we saw a broadsword in an abyssal area die. Why would somebody do an abyssal and a broadsword? We need a video guide switching from Linux to Windows stat. I was actually going to make a prank video like that one day. Maybe for April 1st. You started on Cachy? So I started, I think I tried Mint. And then I was like, okay, cool. And then I tried Fedora with GNOME, which I hated. GNOME. Then I went to XFCE with Fedora, with X11, which was great. And then I finally got the nerve to go to Wayland because it doesn't matter. It's just, you know, just do the thing. And now I've been on Cachy with Plasma for a long time now. Yeah, Cachy is Arch. Suck at Windows, command line for the win. J20 has longer range, the RCS is both. Interesting. I highly encourage the jet talk. Good to see you, Scrap. What rank Abyssal? Well, the broadsword was like 3 bill and his pod was like 2 bill. I have no idea what rank. I don't even know how to tell. I'm attempting to install Mint, but I have to use command to disable BitLocker in Windows. Do you have another drive to throw it on? You're running KDE Plasma with Wayland, or sorry, Fedora with Plasma? Oh, wow, Scrap. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, Fedora's cool. Literally the only reason I don't recommend Fedora, I actually like Fedora's ethos. I think that their, not ethos, you know what I'm saying. I like their ethics. Because they are like subscribed to FOSS by definition, they have no choice but to be free open source software. But they do have a tie, right, to Red Hat, of course. A lot of the people that run it are over there as well, or whatever. But the one thing about Fedora I don't like is that you have to like enable the RPM Fusion to get the NVIDIA drivers. It's just non-starter for first timers. I don't even want to explain it to them. I mean, it's just so easy to get a newbie on. It's crazy. It'll be a cold day in hell before I finally go back to Windows. Y'all are some goobers, man. Here, let me show you the kill. So here's the kill. You tell me what the fuck this is, Zedicus. What is this? This is PvE, yeah? He's got double battery in there. I just can't fathom doing ratting with a broadsword. It really does that much damage? No shit. I thought these things were spitball shooters. Also, he lost a huge pot with it too, so I guess that's just how it goes. What is resistance like? How do you tell in here? C-type. I'd have to load it into Python, yeah? As an Eve predominant player, do you feel like Kashi is the best option? Yeah, definitely Kashi, 100%. Kashi gives you access to the ore, right? Having the ore is kind of useful if you're a power user. The only time I recommend not using Kashi is if you're just, you really, for whatever reason, need to be immutable, then you can do Bazite or whatever. Or if you're scared, then you do Mint. But Kashi is truly pretty good. And the thing is, I'm not like a distro loyalist. I just go for what's easier and what works. So you can kind of sort of trust me that I'm not like super biased here. What race did he have? Explosive 2 and a damage ring. Need my bash script back. There's a bash script for you right there. I'll get you a bash script, young chatter. By the way, if you guys ever, if any of this stuff has been interesting, we're going to finally stop talking about socialism and capitalism. But if any of this is interesting to you, you can always contact me and we can talk about it. I can teach you what little I know, or you can teach me something. But if any of it's interesting to you and like you want to maybe, I don't know, learn a little bit about it, you could go read the normal stuff, but you really kind of just need to read this book called Black Shirts and Reds, and or listen to a video by Michael Parenti called Yellow Parenti. Right? If you just listen to Yellow Parenti or read Black Shirts and Reds, you'll probably start to, you know, feel a little bit some type of way about the way we do things and what America is. But I know, reading, it's boring, who cares? But just throwing it out there. I feel like I might as well say some book in some video if you care. Anyway. Let's see how bad our Tabature map is fucked up. All right, let's go take a look at this. Yeah, the book is great. I mean, you don't even have to like socialism to read Black Shirts and Reds. That's gonna like that's your gateway drug to being like, okay, well, all right. Bit of a problem with the way things are right now, but no worries. BZM, screw it. Let's scan it down. We're just gonna add this sig real quick. So JX and QT are gone. Let's get rid of those. The null and high sec static are gone. Cool. Shit, what was it? I forgot. Oh, BZ. Better on TeamSpeak. This type of convo is better to be there. Should be fine. I'm not mapping yet. I somehow don't think you're gonna fuck it up again. That would be pretty impressive. I made a custom video for my corp just so that they can like know what I'm doing here and like, you know, match the formats and stuff. It's like a 10-minute video. It's funny. It's kind of important. I don't mind doing it, of course. It's kind of important too that people kind of have a chance to do it right. They don't want to just fail over and over again and feel bad. If you're ready to spend 1.5 bill, broadsword is a bit of a wild choice. For real. After I map this, I'm going to go to Jeddah. I'm going to hand out a little prize. I've been giving out something away in a long time. And you guys did a little hype train earlier. So, you know what it is. So this is BZM and it's a high sec static. We can tell because this is B449. Let's go through and see where it goes. Made a court map on the Pathfinder. Yeah. Attaboy. Attaboy. I just posted my little broadsword build and Jack the Needle. Uh-oh. Oh, and Jack? All right, so this didn't actually get linked because I didn't actually put it as a wormhole because I'm a little goober face. We'll just do it manually right now. This is going to go to Celtem, and it's BZM, so it's going to go right on top here because we go A to Z on the right. K-space, yeah. We also have some signatures here that have despawned. Let's clean them up, yeah? Beautiful. So now we can re-crunch the map, and now it's good to go. I left before through Anki, and I came back here just by walking through Enyer, so... Tabitzer is so highly connected that when you become comfortable and start to feel yourself with the routes, you suddenly, like, New Eden is extremely small, smaller than it's ever been before for me because of Tabby. If you live in Tabby, you have access to Turner bookmarks, Thera bookmarks, all your filaments, and you have a way back to Tabby. And crucially, you actually have the Tabby map, so you have your own private, like, connections to and from high sec and low sec and stuff like that. It's so interconnected. It's so fun. I absolutely love it. Warp disruption. All right, let's go kill Jack and go to J-Space, or go to Jetta real quick. You guys listen to me rant about socialism for 3 hours. The least I can do is give you a prize. I would love a political podcast with you, lay out the arguments very well. I don't think anybody would watch it. Who needs another bullshit leftist podcast? I don't think it's important. But I appreciate that you would watch. That's cool. I mean, it's cool that you would watch. I just don't think it would be worth doing. My ideas are just dime a dozen, right? Just your standard dude criticizing capitalism. Anyway, I appreciate you. Let's throw this stuff in the Tabby folder. Yeah? Tabby, Tabby, Tabby. I love the name Tabby. It's great. Tabby. Put those on there. Why not? All right, Jack, it's time for you to die, my friend. So the way I'm going to do this is let's go to the Fortizar and leave our clone there. I have a black glass in. Balisson says GG. Uh-oh, what happened? What happened, bro? Did you win? Did you just hit silver finally in League of Legends? Dude, that's awesome. You deserve it. You're no longer one of those bronze shitters. Imagine being bronze. Oh my god. Not like me, I'm silver. The young man's mind gets corrupted by MMR and ELO. It really does. It's crazy. I don't know if women are quite as vulnerable to it. Maybe. I feel like it's the testosterone that gets you. Your fucking MMR going up and down, people losing games for you, solo queue. Oof. It'll test you. It'll test you. Bigger number equal better unga bunga. Motherfuckers be putting their whole identity in their League of Legends rank. You know? It's actually kind of amazing. Bye, Jack. Fun day, fun day. I think we probably should not have talked about politics. I probably shouldn't have taken the bait. So I apologize if I made you not like me or if I screamed at you. That one guy got banned because he was trying to fuck with me. It didn't really have much to do with his politics. I think you guys understand that. And yeah, so let's shop for a prize here. Level 3 hype train. Honestly, level 3 is not the best. I don't want to spoil you guys, but something. I should give something. What should we give? Should we give a ship? Yeah, I think we should give a ship. What about the classic? What about the classic here? Do we do Black Ops or do we do a Marauder here? Hold on. I'm going to flip a coin. Heads, Black Ops, tails, Marauder. It's tails. All right. We're doing a Marauder. Now, which one? We're going to do a poll. All right, my friends, you have 1 minute to vote. You can vote as many times as you want. 1 channel point, 1 vote. Good luck. May the best ship win. Always take the bait. It's like rule or something. I'm just, yeah. The thing about streaming is it's like, you know, there's a charisma element to it that you have to be somewhat aware of because, and this is going to sound crazy, but the charisma is why people watch you. So when you start geeking out and like start like shitting on people and saying your chat doesn't know shit, it's not a good look. Even though it's probably true that we don't know that much about these systems as a whole. It doesn't really matter. Damn, the Golem and the Kronos are going hard. The Vargar has no votes. Is it the cheapest? Someone vote Baba Raga? Shit, you ain't getting that for a level 3 hype train, bro. You can you can hit a level 10 hype train. Maybe I'll give you a Baba Raga. All right, so 1 winner. We're going to set it for 5 minutes. And wait, what is this? Oh, this is the name. All right. Is this the wrong giveaway bot? What the fuck? Ah, okay. I see. 5 minutes, 1 winner. The prize is going to be 1x Golem Hull. All right, everybody go to my Discord. And look for the giveaways channel. And all you got to do is go to my Discord, go to the giveaways, and click the present button there. I'm going to poop it first. I got the first poop. Gravy too slow. Pooped it up. All right, so good luck. Is it not letting you enter? Uh-oh. Here, click the present. Is it not letting you enter? Nobody's entered. Uh-oh. It's broken. All right, let's try it again. That one didn't work. Let's try it again. Mulligan. We're doing a mulligan here. 5 minutes. 1 winner. Golem Hull. Let's try it again. Click the button. Hey, it one works. All right. It works now. This bot is like stupid. Sorry. Scrap is alive? Scrap is alive. Scrap comes and goes. He geeked out on the stream for a while at the start, but you know, everything gets boring after a while. I'm just glad he's still here. Classless fucks didn't vote for the Vargar. When I'm gonna lease it out. Holy fuck. Alright, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. That was a pretty good way to end this. I like it because it's like, it's funny. It's objectively funny. Oh, these damn landlords making me giggle, I'll tell you what. All right, calm down. We good, we got this. All right, so go to my Discord and enter. If you don't click the present button, you cannot enter. YouTube, Twitch, Kick, fucking Rumble, X, you're all eligible. I'm not even streaming on those platforms, but if I was, what's the vote breakdown? Oh shit, that's a good question. I didn't even look. Let's see how many times you clicked. 7's the only dude who voted for the Golem. Gregos clicked 105 times in 60 seconds for the Paladin. A lot of people clicking the Kronos. And then Scrap Rat with 127 votes in 60 seconds. My man busted out the auto hotkey script in his extremely debloated Windows installation. Clicking over 2 times a second with no warning. He was just ready to click. Fucking insane. Whew. See, that's proof that there's botters in the game. That's proof. Lease or rent? Yes. We're getting our equity paid on this Golem. Preemptive rigged? True, yeah. All my contests are rigged, obviously. What up? Make sure you go to my Discord right now. Go to the giveaways channel. I rarely do giveaways. I know Laura's out there giving away 400 billion ISK every 5 minutes, but you know, I still give away stuff too. I'm allowed to play, okay? Just because I'm not rich, okay? Doesn't mean I can't give stuff away, all right? You did it on a dude's phone? Oh, on a phone, dude. That was way funnier the first time. That you just did it on some random dude's phone. Amazing. We're getting raid protection right now on my Discord because too many people are joining. Fuck me. I feel like I might do a stream over the weekend, but I don't know. Black shirts and reds. You won't regret it. There's audiobooks too. Clicking on Twitch mobile. I might work right now. Well, when you do it on your phone, you can like get all your fingers involved. You can get all your fingers up in there. What's up, Grey Ghost? I see you, by the way. Anybody else slipping in at the last second here? I didn't say hi to you. Hi, what's up, 312? Wildport. The whole fucking team is here. Ready to steal this golem away from your boy. On Sunday? On Sunday, I'm going to have a meeting with my corp, and we'll type up some minutes for people that don't meet me. Sunday, I'm going to be doing a move up from Udemy to Tabby. The other one's turning a wrench. What are you, mechanic? Mechanic work fucking wrecks me. I get so frustrated trying to do, like, you know, slightly more than basic mechanical work. Definitely a limitation. You build jet engines? Yeah. I can just imagine a guy with like a wrench, cigarette in his fucking mouth. You know what I mean? He's just like, he's like building jets while watching me on his fucking phone. You know what I mean? He's just like this. Yeah. Based. Just like building jets and shit. I don't know if I want to fly anymore. I'm just kidding. I love you, bro. There are some occupations I don't want my chatters doing. I think jet building might be one of them. Just kidding. I'm sure you do a wonderful job. Domain Man won the fucking golem haul. Let's get a round of applause. What do I have to do to be able to post and giveaway? You can't actually post here. You can just click the present to enter. It's already over though, sadly. Domain Man. What's going on? I'm gonna DM you. I need your username. Hi. Hi. You win. Hey golem. What's your username in Eve? Congrats, buddy. It's got an anime profile picture, so possible weeb detected. Possible weeb detected. Yo, whoever you are, Domain Man, you gotta DM me on Discord to claim your prize. Otherwise, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna donate it to fucking Toys for Tots. All right. You got 2 minutes to hit me up with your username, or I'm gonna put the golem in the gulag. Chatty's not responding. Uh-oh. We doing a reroll? It's me, your brother. I am Spartacus. I am Spartacus. No, I am Spartacus. What up, Leo Skyblade? All right, I guess we'll give this guy a few minutes. I don't want him to lose it. Oh, here we go. Yes. Yes. Sorry.
I'm Spartacus!
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus!
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus!
I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus.
This is my Twitch chat whenever I ask who this person is. I'm like, hey, who is this person that won? They're all like, yeah, that's me. Okay. Hell yeah. Congrats. Sending now in contract. All right, we got a person. In fact, it was the same username, so I was going to check that. Congratulations. Wow, feels good. A little giveaway on Chlorokin stream. Listen, everybody knows you got to go to Laura's stream to get the dank giveaways, but winning a Chlorokin Golem, I mean, you know, that's real. That's signed and packaged by me, and I'm obviously a huge internet celebrity. So, congratulations, the main man. Appreciate you, everybody entering my contests and hanging out with me all day and putting up with my political condescension and or over-explaining. Much appreciated. Of course, people that didn't participate in the silly debates, thanks for lurking. Thanks for chilling. Thanks for keeping a level head. People that support me, got some subs earlier. Thank you. Very kind of you. People that use my code. People still use my code. Crazy enough. Thank you. Anonymous people that do that. I appreciate it. And yeah, I would say I can finish this up with just a single line before I start saying goodbye to folks, is that, you know, we all have different understandings of the world around us. We all agree on that. But the ask is, from me to you, is to just do your best with what you know and understand and love to take care of the people that you meet in life and try to be good to them. That doesn't mean you have to give all your money to some random guy, but try to find a way to let the good side of you kind of leak out. You know, even if we don't agree on politics, we can probably agree that would probably actually help the world a little bit. So not that this is going to change anything, but I'm basically giving you permission to, you know, just be nice, be a little charitable, give people the benefit of the doubt, work with them, right? Tell your family you love them. Just go out of your way to do something good. Kind of counteract some of the negative energy that follows us around. So thanks for being here. It was fun. I hope to see you all again next week. I stream an awful lot. Big stream today, had a couple raids. That was very cool. I look forward to seeing you guys again. And I will, of course, open an invite rather, to my corp if you want to join that. I also have a Discord you can hang out at. Viri harasses people there. Otherwise, you can DM me on Discord or in game. Let me know if you got a question, something you want to talk about. I'm always around. So thank you for being here. YouTube, you take care now. You guys were very well behaved today. Captain Quark, take care. TY, adios. Stir Fry, goodbye, Corpy. Thane Cotter, take care. He says, you sound very liberal. This is, hold on. I missed this. He says, you sound very liberal. Aw, did you just come in at the very end? Aw, poor little guy. Somebody's super confused. Aw. This is a conservative trying to attack me for being a Democrat when he doesn't understand I'm a socialist. And he's actually a liberal to me. He doesn't understand that. If you don't know what the word liberal means, traditionally you hear it in the US as somebody that's on the left of bipartisan politics, but the word actually historically means somebody that advocates capitalism, right? I don't advocate capitalism. I'm not a liberal. What's funny is that I can guarantee you that you are, even if you don't know it. So anyway, I'm going to ban you because you're a clown. But wow. Incredible. Here, I'll give you a 24-hour timeout like a child. Man, he called me a liberal. Sir, that's you. You're the one who likes capitalism. Anyway, bye. Anyway, love you guys. YouTube, I'll talk to you soon. Sorry, I had to do it. That guy was an idiot. Take care.